I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal for how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one Chief Rocker in Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy. Y'all want this party started right? Y'all want this party started quickly, right? What's good, y'all? What's good? What's good? Let's start this thing off right. Blue tears, orange tears, Blorange Tears. Bam! Let's go. Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you got some loot and a stick of juicy fruit, somebody say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Scream. What's good? What's good? All right, hold on. I got an emergency. Hold on. Yeah, that was crazy. That's crazy. That was crazy. I think Mo was on the conference call and I'm in here rocking the mic with y'all. Oh yeah! Yo, she gonna be mad at me for a few minutes, y'all. I'm in here rocking the microphone, and she and then talk about leasing and properties and all type of stuff. Her and her co-workers and stuff. I know she probably gonna be hot about that. Just because of y'all, now I got to go buy her dinner. Just because of y'all, now I got to buy her dinner tonight. Thanks, y'all. Thank you, Tom Thibodeau. Thanks, Tibbs. Mo in there trying to work, and I'm in here talking about, oh yeah. Yeah, thanks, Tibbs. But anyway, how y'all this morning? Okay, I see y'all. Miss Geraldine is in the building. Okay. YDAC. I can't get it. I'm trying to figure that out. I don't know how to say it. Via Hidalgo is in the building. What's good? What's good? Greeny is in the building. Savage NYC is in the building. Keith Turner is in the building. What's good? Craig McQueen, what's good? What's good? Knicks for Life is in the building. What's good? What's good? What's good? Dripmore is in the building. What's good? What's good, y'all? For some reason, man, this seat. Hold on. I'm gonna change seats real quick. I'm gonna be here for a while, man. I may as well get comfortable, right? Hold on. All right, that feel better. That feel a whole lot better, man. What's going on, y'all? Dripmore in the building. D Nice is in the building. What's good? What's good, y'all? I don't really have a pressing thing to talk about, but what I'm gonna do is throw this link in the chat for my peoples that just want to jump in and chop it up with us. Maybe we can be company to those maybe listening at work or listening in their car or just going about their daily routine. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we can ride along with them while they do their thing. Eli M is in the building. What's good? King Ribby is in the building. What's good, y'all? I guess the easy thing to talk about is what's going on with the Donovan Mitchell thing. If there are any updates, I hadn't heard anything, right? I hadn't heard anything on the Donovan Mitchell front. I did, however, discover that the guy that put out the stuff in Utah, I think his pops used to be the team president of the Knicks or something. I think it's a dude named Checkets. The name Checkets rings a bell. UBG is in the building. What's good? Not Zay is in the building. Hey, not Zay. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I can't figure this out. What's going on? Like why don't we not have Donovan Mitchell yet? I can't figure this thing out. But even though I like Donovan Mitchell, I would be willing to at least explore other options, even though they wouldn't be my favorite options. You feel me? I would entertain exploring other options. Yeah, Savage NYC, Dave Checkets. I think the dude in Utah that spread those rumors and stuff, last name is Checkets, just like you spelled it. Now, I'm not saying there's something to that, but I think there's something to that. And not Zay says, why are we stuck on what? What are we stuck on? I don't know. Bronx Mel, top of the morning. What's good? Cash out James, salute. What I'm saying is I'm not for sure why we don't have a Donovan Mitchell in tow yet. I don't understand why. Right? I have a feeling the asking price is too high, but at the same time, I don't want to presume anything. Right? You know how you presume some stuff and it may not be accurate? I don't want to do that. Right? I don't want to presume. I don't want to presume anything. But at the same time, let me, as I get used to a different chair. I'm trying to get used to a different chair. I'm sorry. The executive joint is just, I don't know. It's right there behind me. It's giving out. Man, I wore that thing. I only had it like a year. I wore that thing out, man. Just swiveling and rolling and everything, all that stuff in that chair. So, but anyway, I'm not for sure why we don't have Donovan Mitchell. It seemed like something easy, but at the same time, it appears to be something very, very hard. Right? Right? I'm trying to figure it out, man. I'm trying to figure it out. Some things are too easy. Some things are too easy just to get done. Right? Keith Turner says, I've been telling people about Leon. He's cheap as hell. It could be Leon wants to try to lowball Danny. We don't know that. Right. Right. And you know what? I respect that perspective. Right. It's a different take. I don't think I heard it before. I don't think I heard the Leon Rose is trying to lowball Danny angle, but it's original, and I like it. Quite frankly, I like original thought. Khaled Pasha says, I'm giving them Evan Fournier quickly. Obi, 6 first-round picks. Ooh, 6 first, KP. KP, 6 first? Oh, I don't know. I don't know, man. 6 first sounds like a lot, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. That sounds like a lot. But you know what? If it gets the deal, bro, do it. YDAC. You gotta tell me how to pronounce that so I can shout it out. Son, it's clear that Danny Ainge don't like New York teams. He's an all-time Celtics great. Come on, people. Let's get real. This is pettiness. I and I agree. Just look at what he did to Brooklyn. The other, I agree with you. I'm not, but listen. At some point, pettiness can get you so far, only so far. At some point, you got to finally get a return on your investment. If the Knicks are that desperate to get Donovan Mitchell, I would say take them resources and go get 2 other players. For what he asking, 7 first-round picks and 3 or 4 young players and 2 veterans, bro, I bet you can get SGA for half that. And go get you another player, another good player for half that. No, don't do that. Don't act like that. Wada C pronunciation. See, I didn't know if it was like a Spanish thing or what. It was a respect thing. It was a respect thing. You know what I'm saying? It was a respect thing. So, yo, Khaled Pasha says you give up the house for a Bugatti if you're still gonna have an apartment, but the Bugatti you got now gonna get you in the door with many superstars to get another house. Well, I guess the main thing I'm looking at though is long term, do what's best for the organization, man. Even if you got to chill. Even if you got to chill and be patient. Right? I want Donovan Mitchell. Right? But can I get Jaylen Brown? Can I get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Hall Wills in the building. What's good? VR says you sleeping in the fancy whip so you can get your try that in the wintertime. Nah. Tiffin Smith was good. Now, what I want to say, and guys, listen. I just for the record, I do have a lot of topics that I feel like we talk about, but I don't want to overload and bore some with these topics. What I like to do is just have this format be free flowing and organic, and just talk about what it is that y'all want to talk about. And then when we get dull, then I'll introduce some topics because I have a bunch of them. Right? I want to talk about Cam Reddish's defense. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the potential of Donovan Mitchell and Obi Toppin together. Bro, I want to talk about the excitement that is going to be Donovan Mitchell, Obi Toppin, and Mitchell Robinson together, lobs all night. I love seeing a big man catch a backdoor lob just out of nowhere. Ah! You know what I'm saying? I love it, bro. I love it. So I want to talk about that stuff too. I want to get to that stuff down the road. Like Mitch, Obi, and Spider running the pick and roll. Mitch sets the screen, starts to the rim. The weak side defender steps up to stop Mitch, and the lob to Obi over there. It's a and for those that don't know, it's a play that this Seattle Supersonics used to run to death. It's like a 4-man play. And look, I'm not getting ready to basketball y'all to death, but just think about this. Hey, Dope Soul Sports Talk, what's good? So it's a play that the Seattle, and I know a lot of y'all don't remember the Seattle Supersonics, right? But it's a play Seattle used to run. Gary Payton and some random big, usually like Irvin Johnson. Irvin Johnson sets this backbreaker screen, right? And rolls to the basket. Gary Payton comes from the opposite side of attack, right? The weak side defender has to commit either to defending the 3-point ball by Detlef Schrempf or the backdoor by Sean Kemp. And if they hesitate for a split second, Gary Payton just threw it up to Sean Payton, to Sean Kemp, right? I said Sean Payton. Wow. So, but my point is, if we run that, seeing Obi catch lobs all night from Donovan Mitchell is going to be amazing to me. Do I think Obi is going to be a great player? I don't know. I got to see him rebound, man. I got to see Obi get tough, right? I got to see Obi be tough, man. I got to be, because dudes that play in the pivot, look, listen, anybody in here ever played center or power forward? You got to be tough, bro. You got to be, if you ever played center or power forward, man, you got to be tough. You got to be willing to throw them things. I think Mo and they having a hard time, man. I got a puppy, and I'm sneaking on the internet, talking to y'all. I'm gonna have to take Mo out to dinner tonight, bro. I swear, bro. I swear, y'all. But anyway, for the basketball things, man. The basketball things, for basketball reasons, Donovan Mitchell, any athletic power forward, mainly Obi, a center that sets hard screens and a 3-point shooter. If you have that for a Donovan Mitchell and another floor spacer, usually an off guard, in this case, it'd be our point guard, just to space the floor. I'm telling you guys, this thing is going to be amazing. Right? Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, Hardware, you gotta bump cutters, bro. Hey, Hardware, you know what I'm talking. Hey, BK Steph know what I'm talking about. When them guards with all they pretty clothes, you know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The guards, they be having the flyest sneakers, and they be having like all the flyest arm sleeves, and they be having all the best stuff. And they like cut through the paint. The coach run a play, and the play call for them to go to the basket and then sprint out to the corner. And as soon as they come through there, you just take their elbow and shoot them to the ribs. And the next time coach call a play, they're like, "Nah, I ain't going down there." Y'all know how it is. Y'all know how it is. It's the Jordan rules, basically. Anytime a backcourt player touch the paint, Why you think power forwards and centers used to wear elbow pads back in the day? Not because they look good, because they used to. And the referee ain't called nothing. The referees ain't called nothing. That's just basketball. Yeah, man. Dope Soul Sports Talk says power forwards and centers got to do the dirty work, though. Things have changed a lot in the NBA. They're becoming pretty. Oh no! Please don't say that. Please don't tell me that the big boys that the big boys nowadays is wearing arm sleeves and headbands and fancy wristbands and all that stuff, right? And I want to get our guys back to having to tape their fingers up. When's the last time you seen an NBA player jam their fingers? I remember that used to be it back in the day. But they used to throw the ball. The passes used to be so quick. You used to jam your fingers. You're like, oh! Anybody in here ever jam their fingers on the basketball trying to catch it? Okay, maybe it's just me, right? But listen, this Knicks team, I think with the addition of Jalen Brunson, I don't know. Oh yeah, Norvel Pell, you remember that? Pudge Nice. Pudge Nice, you remember that? You remember Norvel Pell jammed all his fingers? His fingers looked like SpongeBob. Oh, I was like, yeah, that's gonna hurt. Yeah. Back in the day, they didn't care if you were female and there was no fouls. No, they didn't care. You better back in the day, if you was a girl, you better not play down low with some boys. You better not play it because, man, listen, Dickinson High, 1983, or you better not. If you was a girl, you come down there if you want to. We didn't care if you a girl. But anyway, what I'm getting at is this year, I think if the Knicks get Donovan Mitchell, I think he adds a dynamic. I think he adds a dynamic to an offense that's already got bones in place. So whether you like the offense that Tom Thibodeau ran this year or not, because it was inefficient, the bones were there. So they instilled the offense. They instilled the high pick and roll, right? Top of the key. I know a lot of people will disagree, right? Roy Hughes, what's good? How you doing? How you doing, man? But yeah, man, the basketball was a different game back then. Nowadays, with all the athleticism and all that stuff at every position, I'll just be honest with you. I'll be frank with you, man. I think the Knicks have the bones to have an elite offense and an elite defense once we get all the players that we need. Right? Once we get the players that we need, right? Now, mind you, I'm talking to you about an offense, say Obi's not on the floor. Say it's the starters. Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. Right? And Donovan Mitchell gets the screen from Randle and Robinson, right? And say Spider, for some reason, tells Randle to go. That automatically triggers Mitch to slide, right? Slide to the vacant spot, Mitchell Robinson, to space the floor. Julius Randle rolls to the basket, right? Julius Randle, the threat to finish in the paint, or at least get fouled and make free throws. Right. The reason why you send him is not because he can convert at the rim, because Mitch is better at that. But Julius Randle is better with moves down there. My main man, Julius Randle, got better moves in the post, has better touch, and he shoots free throws at a higher rate than Mitch, right? So you send Randall goes, the defense collapses on Julius Randle, who's an offensive threat, and the back door is wide open for RJ. And if it's not, that means the offense is wide open for a jumper from Mitchell Robinson. Okay, I said that one backwards. All right, okay, so I don't want Mitch shooting a mid-range jumper. Okay, so I don't want Mitchell Robinson shooting a mid-range jumper, and Mitchell Robinson probably don't want to either. But y'all see how the play design works, right? So if you switch Randall and Robinson and Randall goes, that means Mitchell Robinson will have a wide open look for a mid-range jumper. None of us want that, but y'all see the offense. Y'all see what I'm talking about, right? Luke Skywalker Vision says that's not the Spain P&R. Yeah, no, I challenge you on that. Tell me what it is then. I'll pull up data right now. Tell you that it is. The one thing I do know is basketball, bro, on the court. That's the one thing I do know. Now, I may not know a lot of personnel, and I may not know salaries off the top of my head, and I might not know contracts and stuff, but I do know basketball. I'll pull it up right now. I'm going to pull it up right now. I'm pulling it up right now. I'm gonna put it on the screen so you can see it. Oh, the stupid website. It's spamming me to death. I don't want to see all that stuff. Oh boy. All right, this one site is spamming me to death. Let me see if I can pull it up on the other. I'm gonna try to pull it up on the other one. I'm gonna freeze it. So you can see it. This thing got cursing in it. This thing got cursing in it. And Luke Skywalker Visions, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. You are talking about the 1-5, and I'm talking to you about what we ran in Summer League. Hold on. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about 1-5, where your guard comes up, and I'm talking to you about what we ran in Summer League. Hold on. I'm gonna pull this thing up. I don't want to. I just want to get a freeze frame of it. Okay. I want to pull one up, and either way. Now listen, man, I ain't ready to get into. Yeah, I do though. Hold on. I want to pull it up so that I can show everybody on screen. You know what? I'm gonna have to do a diagram of it. Hey, Luke Skywalker Visions, I'm gonna do a diagram of it. And VR said, Mitchell Robinson within 10 feet. I know. Okay. I understand what you're saying there, and I understand what you're saying there. VR. Jermaine Royster was good. Hard Will was good. UBG says, and not move in desperation. You said the Knicks need to stay pat. Thank you, boss. Will you talk about me? I got a thing. I have an image of it, but they have the stupid media player playing in the corner, and I don't want to have a video playing on the joint. All right. I see what you're talking about. You know what? Hey, Luke Skywalker Visions. I think you might be right. Because I see one here. Where the two guard sets the back screen for the 5-man, which frees up the 5-man. I think you might be right. I do see. Okay, I see you. Okay. So I see a different set than what you saw. Okay. Hey, shout out to Luke Skywalker Visions, because I saw the two joints that I've been talking about all summer, and then I just saw the joint that you just mentioned. Shout out to Luke Skywalker Visions. I see you, Coach. I see you, Coach. I see you. Where Luke Skywalker Visions at? I hope he here. I see you. No Cap Sports Talk is in the building. What's good? So I do see the one where you said that Randall and RJ need to be in opposite corners. And the 2 comes up top and sets the back screen for the 5. And the point guard goes around the screen set by the 5. But what I don't see is an effective means for, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that worked. I don't know. I'd have to see it. Yeah, man. Shout out to Luke Skywalker Visions, because I'm looking at one right now, and it's showing the 2 guards starting off at the box, coming up top, setting the back screen for the 5, so the 5 can roll to the basket unimpeded while he. Okay, so the center, Mitchell Robinson, sets the screen, but Mitchell Robinson gets a screen from Donovan Mitchell while Jalen Brunson turns the corner, and then Mitch sprints to the basket. But I think this takes Donovan Mitchell out of the offensive set. I think this takes Donovan Mitchell out of the play, though. Harlem Girl, what's good? Jermaine Royster's in the building. What's good, y'all? William Turnbull, what's good? Yeah, I know the roll man get a screen. The roll man get a screen from Donovan Mitchell. What I can't figure out is why Donovan Mitchell is taken out of the play. Why Mitchell Robinson is the secondary target in this, the second option. Why would Mitch be the second option as opposed to? But just like most plays, I guess it depends on what the defense give you. I'm looking at it right now because it's asking for Mitch to set the screen up high, about 25 feet, right? Which gives Jalen Brunson or whoever the primary ball handler is at that time, right? It gives them a hard screen to rub off their defender, and the center gets a screen from whoever's playing the 2, and then that way you can get an open look for Luke Skywalker Visions. Just let me ask you this, because I never watched the Utah Jazz play. Well, rarely watch the Utah Jazz play. Is that the play that they run to get Rudy Gobert all those dunks? Hey, Hardwell, I see that. It's designed to be that. It's designed to be that, right? But I'm talking about the second part of it. What is the weak side? I'm sorry. What is the strong side defender doing? Because the strong side defender is zoned up because it's 1-on-2, right? Because you got think about all that stuff going on, and you got a shooter in the corner, and you have a defender between the rim and the basket. I mean, between the rim and the corner shooter. What is it? Is it designed to do something to that defender that's zoned up? What does that zoned up defender do? Okay. Okay. All right. So what I'm saying is what I'm getting at is, what if the defender stays zoned up? Then you can't force it. What are we doing? That defender is stays zoned up. What are we doing? Then are we still attacking the rim? Okay. I got you. I'm fascinated by this. Are y'all not fascinated? Chat, y'all not fascinated by this offense? The Knicks have been running this during summer league. Are y'all not fascinated by this? Y'all not intrigued by this? Coach, what's good? How you been, man? Let me put a little something. Okay. Hallwell says, yes, we have better threats with the ball attack. I like that. And so Nick G says, can we get breakdowns on the Patreon? Definitely. We will we'll definitely do the downs on Patreon. I'm actually working on that right now. I'm working on getting the software that I can move the X's and O's on the screen. Once I get that, then we're gonna break down everything, bro. Everything. Right. So now that we're looking to break this thing down, that's one of the things that I was speaking to ever since the season was over. Like, the Knicks legit ran motions and actions out of these sets the 7th most time, right? For the 6th highest pick and roll possession time of possession in the pick and roll. But we were the 28th most efficient, which means we ran it. We just wasn't good at it. right? We ran it. We just wasn't good at it. So now that we get the personnel to do it, I think you'll see that the Knicks, and I say, and listen, I'm jumping out of the window because of Brunson. I'm thinking that the Knicks will have an elite offense. And I probably shouldn't think that way, especially in year one. Maybe in year two, maybe in the 2023 season, I think the Knicks can be elite. But I think the Knicks have been running this system for 2 years. And if they've been running it for 2 years, all you have to do is plug your guys in and let them go. But then when you keep in mind that for these 2 seasons, they had different backcourts. One season, it was Elfrid Payton and R.J. Barrett. And then one season, it was Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier. Right? Right? New media troll leader says it's free to sign up. What? What's free to sign up? Oh, you're talking about the Patreon. No, the Patreon, I think it's like $2 a month. The Patreon is. I thought you were talking about for the software to do the plays and stuff. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's early. I ain't had no coffee yet. The Patreon is like $2 a month, man. It's like peanuts. And we want to keep it that way. But the more stuff that we buy to get more advanced, and then the price may go up eventually, like down the road to like maybe $2.50 or maybe $3 or something like that. Yeah, I see. The Patreon, but it won't. It's not going to be. I don't ever see it being like something that'll break your back. I won't ever do anything like that, man. It'll always be something reasonable. It'll be like if you see me on the street and you buy me a soda or something cheap. It won't ever be like $25, $50 or something like that unless we get super advanced with the stuff. Coach, what's good?
Yo, what's up?
How you doing, man?
Good.
Man, good to see you, boss.
Yeah, man. Missed the last couple streams. I lurked one night, but been busy, life.
Yeah. I'm busy right now. Pancakes. Pancakes. Coach disappeared that fast. Yeah, man. Key Turner says that's all $2. You needed to be at least $5. Well, I have the option for $5, so it's like a $2 and a $5 or something like that. But for 30 days, it's like whatever it is, $2 divided by 30 days. I think it's $5 divided by 30 days. I think it's a value. Coach, what happened, Coach? Will Salkin, what's good? Coach, what's good? Everything all right?
Yeah, my bad. My fat finger hit the leave button.
Oh man, trust me, I know about big fingers, brother. I know about big hands.
So I can't stand texting, man.
Yeah, I think they need to make big boy apps.
Yeah, man. Like, I got gorilla fingers, bro.
Yeah, man. And so what I would say to the chat, with the Patreon, what we're trying to do, see, because live streams are not really conducive to doing all these things. Like the conversation that me and Luke Skywalker Visions had just now on a live stream, it's kind of awkward because he'll say something and then I have to do research in real time. And so then you have me being quiet during the live stream, researching what my man said, even though he was absolutely right. Luke Skywalker Vision. And so I was wrong in a sense, but not wrong like way off, like trying to make stuff up. I was wrong in a sense that you don't have to do everything the same way. Right?
You got to start getting that TNT set up with a big screen behind you. Like, and walk up to it like Kenny
just walk
Smith.
up to it. Yeah, man. But I don't think the live stream. I don't think people want to see me walk around with pajama pants on.
Hey, you never know, man. That might boost viewership for the ladies.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
Yeah.
Bow, chicka, bow.
It'll cut into the sausage fest we got going on around here.
Yeah, man. So we was breaking down the offense a little bit and how Donovan Mitchell can be an asset to the Knicks, and Luke Skywalker Visions pointed out the fact that the 3 and the 4 in certain Spanish pick and rolls are spotted up in the corner, like your stretch 4 and your athletic 3 are in the corners, right? The one I saw that the Boston Celtics were running, the Boston Celtics didn't run one where the 2 came from the box. They had Jaylen Brown, the 3, come up top with Daniel Tice. They were already up top and they screened up top. Right? Like Jaylen Brown would screen Daniel Tice's man so that he can go, and then Jaylen Brown occupied a space, empty space. He didn't come from the box. So, and that's the one that Brad Stevens ran with Kemba Walker, right? So what I'm assuming as we go, that coaches do it any number of ways, but I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, who's been the main architect of that in the summer league? For us, like who? I mean,
Dice Yashimoto was the summer league coach,
right?
And Subliminal 209 and I were watching it, and we're like, yo, why's Farron Hunt? Oh, they're trying to run some Spanish pick and roll. And they had Trevor Keels in one corner and Quentin Grimes in another corner.
I mean, we have personnel to do it. Obviously, it's just implementing it, but perfecting it. Yeah. I mean, even if we don't get Mitchell, you know what I'm saying? It's still with who we got.
Right.
I mean, I've always been all for the post running high screens for the point guard all day long.
Right. And Luke Skywalker Vision said he saw Ingles, Mitchell, and Bogdanovich set screens for Gobert.
Right. Well, that's what they used to do in the lob. Like I was saying in chat earlier, in the Lob City days for the Clippers. Right. JJ Redick used to do all screen. DeAndre will come up, set a pick for Chris Paul.
Right.
And then from there, Chris Paul could work off of that pick and roll the basket or take it a little short jumper or take it to the rim, depending on how they play that screen.
Right.
And then I mean, Randall's not the same skill set as Blake Griffin, but he kind of runs he kind of swaps up and down from the low and high post,
right.
Which obviously Randall has the skill set to do. I mean, unfortunately, all we've seen the last 2 years is a lot of ISO stuff from him. But he's got the obvious skill set to run anything. I mean, he can run any, and he can be a mid-range stretch kind of post guy. He can take it to the. He's got the ability to do all these things, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just if he buys in and does it.
Right.
Because
I think that's the case for all the players, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about all the other fours in the league, as far as overall skill set, I mean he's got a little bit of everything you need, really.
Right. Right. Hartwell says because those players do what they have to do to help their squad. That's what Randall better do this season. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is a turning point. Come to Jesus year for Randall and RJ. Period. For our team, for sure.
I think it's more so for RJ too, because at the end of the day, if Randall reverts back to what he normally is, then you really hadn't lost anything, right? You hadn't gained anything, but you hadn't lost anything. If RJ doesn't improve, then what are you really getting from the number 3 pick? You use the number 3 pick on RJ Barrett, and you hope that he's just as good or better than Zion, Ja, DeAndre Hunter, and Darius Garland, right? Because he's in that group of kids. All those kids come out the same group. They were drafted or together around that same range. You don't count the Hachimura kid. You don't count Kobe White. You don't count Cam Reddish. You don't count Jackson Hayes. You basically count Zion, Ja, RJ, Garland, and Hunter. That's it. You know what I mean? And I know that's a tough way to put it, but in the grand scheme of things, a top 5 picks get judged differently. Top 5 picks don't get judged by the same scale as top 20 picks. Right. Jay Boogie's in the building. Jay Boogie in the house. What's good? Yeah, Keith Turner says this is a Jesus year for RJ more than anything. Yeah, because we need to get some return on investment from the number 3 overall pick. And it's not just because it's RJ Barrett, it's just because it's the number 3 pick. And you expect more out of the number 3 pick. Like who was last season's number 3 pick? Last season's number 3 pick. Evan Mobley.
Yeah, the number 3 picks to like the last 5 to 8 to 10 years. I mean, there's been some dogs, ballers at number 3. Like, really, number 3's been the best spot for a while.
LaMelo was LaMelo the number 3 pick?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you want to go back far enough?
Yeah.
Mr. Jordan. Yeah. He was a number 3 pick.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And Pudge Knight says Obi also, and I agree. Yeah, it's time for Obi to show improve, man. It's enough of excuses for Obi Toppin already, man. Obi was
he's a lottery pick.
Yeah, number 8. He was a top 8 pick. And the Knicks were looking to trade up to get him. Right? So Obi's got to do something, man.
Yeah, Luka Doncic was number 3.
Yep, Luka was number 3.
Tatum.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid.
Wow, that's a lot of names. RJ Barrett.
Yeah, Bradley Beal. But then you throw in Otto Porter and Jahlil Okafor in the mix, unfortunately. But besides them.
Otto Porter was decent. Jahlil Okafor was not, though. Jahlil Okafor was not. But,
God, I forget. Enes Kanter was the number 3 pick. Wow.
Yeah, Enes Kanter.
Well,
and I think Hartwell's trying to pick a fight with you. Hartwell asks, he says, so why didn't the coaches put him in a better position? Not just giving him minutes, making plays to make him excel.
Well, here's the thing. I think because we bought in so much on Randall in that spot, I don't know if we built an offense around when Randall's out. So when Obi comes in, he's got that different skill set. You know what I'm saying? So he got what he can get. You know, and I don't think plays a run for him. You know, now is that his fault for not making himself indispensable, where we need to make things work for him too, or I don't know. You know,
I would say this to that point, man. That I'm just gonna say this: why didn't R.J. Barrett take charge, step up, be more assertive, right? Why didn't he do that? Anthony Edwards didn't have a problem with it. Anthony Edwards is a top 3 pick, right? Why didn't LaMelo go through that? LaMelo didn't have to go there. LaMelo is a top 3 pick. I mean, at the end of the day, all these guys are around the same height, 6'6", 6, whatever it is that these guys are. They the same type of, you know. We can't keep. Well, why do we cuddle our guys? We make excuses for our guys, and then other team guys get thrown to the wolves. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it. Why do we have to pamper RJ, pamper Obi? We have to pamper Grimes. We have to pamper quickly. Oh no, man! You know, I just need 1,000 more excuses to come up with for why our guys aren't as good as everybody else's. You know,
I mean, the way the NBA is built now, I mean, especially all the way up to where they were letting high schoolers in. If you're a dude and you can play, like the NBA is a league that if you can play, you can have success early, depending on, you know. But you know, there are factors, surroundings, and all that stuff. But guys like, I mean, you've alluded to this before in many streams that we've had. You know, guys like Obi and Quickly now, you know, they've been on the team for 2 years and they still can't crack the lineup enough to make an impact.
Is that a Tibbs issue? Is that a Tom Thibodeau issue? I don't think so. I just think these players are flawed. Right?
Yeah, that was my argument, because a lot of people were like, "Oh, you'd rather play the veterans, blah blah blah." But I don't believe that, because when he was at Chicago and Minnesota, he played young guys. He plays the best guys. That's going to help him win. All this conspiracy theory crap, like, I don't play that game.
Right. I'm with Nick G on this one, bro. If you can play, you can play.
Exactly.
Right. If you can play, you'll figure out a way. You know what I'm saying? It's like I watched this pod on YouTube called For the Love of the Game, right? Mm-hmm. And despite a bunch of stuff like the show don't have like 1,000 viewers at once, or they don't have like sponsorship yet, they don't have affiliates yet, or none of that stuff. But the 2 dudes that's on there, they can flat out go. They know what they're doing, right? They get it. It's Chef Worldwide L and some other dude like on the show, right? They flat out be getting it. People enjoy the joint, right? But because the numbers ain't there, don't mean that they're not good at what they're doing. They damn good at they damn near great at what they're doing, right? And so what I'm getting at is if you can do it, you can do it despite all the things that's going on with it, right? Let me see. Hallwell says, y'all act like you didn't see him put Burks over players that's better than. That ain't what we saying, but that's the opposite of what I'm saying. But at the same time, Hardwell, you act like you didn't see Alec Burks out there playing.
I was about to say, Burks was kind of producing. I mean,
right? When
he was given a chance.
Yeah. Hardwell act like Fournier wasn't holding that spot down. Evan Fournier was holding them dudes off. Quentin Grimes didn't set the Knicks all-time three-pointer record. Evan Fournier did that. Right? R.J. Barrett didn't have elite defense. His defense was the same as Evan Fournier, 112.9. It's in the record books. There forever. Can't change it. It's there forever. It's part of history now. You can't rewrite it. Right? Now, should Jericho Sims got more minutes over Taj Gibson? Yeah. should Miles McBride have gotten minutes? And cut into Alec Burks minutes? Yeah, probably so. But it's not like he was dominating and it was obvious. We just saying give him charity minutes. We saying give him charity minutes. DJ Cash is in the building. DJ Cash is in the building. What's good, Cash? Cash says sometimes players need the right system and coaching to flow. Cash, come on, bro. You got to be a player. Either you're a player or you not, Cash. What's good? Cash, either you're a player or you not.
I mean, like, I'm a coach myself, and I respect the impact of a coach, but it's overrated as far as making players play. You know what I'm saying? Like an elite team that's got elite talent and all that will get you to a certain point, and then like maybe that coaching will be that last little to get you over the hump. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't gonna affect the team that much.
At this level, right, Coach? At this level, I ain't even gonna lie to you. At this level, all coaches should be doing is figuring out stuff. Hey, salute, Kerry Cox was good. At this level, all coaches should be doing is pointing out defense. Like, hey, we gonna run blue right here. If he goes to one side, we saying blue. If he go to the other side, we saying red. But if we call out a color, we trapping on the wings, right? It's like, Coach, you ever had to do pass protection?
Yeah, of course. Well, as a running back, yeah, I've had to.
Yeah, and so
coach it up too as a player. I mean, as a coach.
And so in high school, it'd be less of it, but maybe at more advanced levels, you could call pass protections at the line of scrimmage, right?
Mm-hmm.
You call your pass protections at the line of scrimmage. What we used to do in the zone right, when everybody stepped right, one man and blocked that man, one player to the right. Mm-hmm. We'd have a system for zoning up. We would, for zoning up, we would go by colors, right? Like blue, that means one man to your left, red, one man to your right. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then in against intricate offenses, we call something like white, where right side take one step to the right, one man to the right, left side take one man to the left, running back gets the man up the middle. Mm-hmm. Right? Running back takes the man up the middle, right? Something like that, right? And so that's basically what you need coaching for the NBA level, because all of these dudes that make it to this level know how to score the basketball. Trust me.
Yeah.
All these dudes that make it to this level, they know how to put that ball in the basket. They
make
do.
Open shots. If you're open.
Yeah.
And a lot of coaching too is some guys are better than others at managing the personalities and the egos and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to be like a part. I mean, and that's what that attests to the greatness of Phil Jackson.
Right.
That was it. I mean, a lot of people are like, "Oh, yeah, look at all the championships he won. He had Jordan and Pippen and all them, and then he had Shaq and Kobe and blah 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 blah." Right. But as we can see nowadays, you can have 2 or 3, top 10, top 15 players on your team, and it don't equate to championships.
Right.
Look at the Lakers, the Nets, and all these. I know injuries come into play a little bit, but
so yeah. You can't. You got to account for it, but you can't. Well, I was gonna say it wrong, so I ain't gonna say it. But Hartwell is absolutely right. Hartwell says facts, and all the bench players y'all fight for ain't it. That's exactly what I'm saying, Hartwell. These young players on the bench, if they was any good, they would be getting more minutes. Hartwell summed it up exactly. All these young bench players we be fighting for, they just ain't it. All these young bench players, bro. And when I'm not saying they not it long term, I'm saying like right now, and especially last year, they just weren't ready. Yo, Ron from Still Knicks fans, what's good?
Ron, go ahead.
Oh, Ron says, so the question is why would Tibbs come out and say that he should have played some of these young guys more if they are not ready for the game? Now, why would he admit to that? I don't know. Are I mean, in terms of like an interrogation or something, I don't know. Everybody make mistakes, man. Nobody perfect. Nobody perfect.
I mean, I think he's kind of saying that. I mean, when the injuries started happening a little bit and we started falling off, falling lower in the standings or whatever, I think at that moment, maybe he meant, well, maybe we should have got them younger guys some more minutes,
Yeah.
But I think he was trying to scrape and claw all he could to sneak in,
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's hard to develop young guys while you're doing that at the same time. It's just that's not good. Always a good mix.
Hey, and listen, and so this is the funny thing to me is some of the same flaws that these young players had in year 1 and year 2 are flaws that they still have. Miles McBride still can't get to the rim. Right? What's his name? Lord have mercy. Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes had an abbreviated offseason, like 3 months to work on his handles, and he still need to work on his handles. Right? He doesn't have a pro guard handles. Trust said, I hope that I'm bringing positive vibes. Yeah, we want to, bro. Yeah, we want to, man. We want to be positive. You know what I'm saying? About a lot of stuff. We want to be real and honest about a lot of stuff too, though. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully by being honest and real, we'll say some positive stuff. But if some things need to be critiqued, I'm gonna reserve the right to critique certain things, including myself, including me. I'm not perfect. I'll critique myself. Nick G says more minutes doesn't necessarily mean they will get better. I agree with that too. Cash says, why did we trade players away then? They flourish and win chips. I don't know. And Pledge Nice says Grimes lost to NBA rookies in the NBA Summer League Championship game. Oh boy, Hardwill calling me out. Oh, jeez. All right, Hardwill calling me out, y'all. I must have said something wrong. I've been known to say some incorrect thing. Well, not incorrect, not intentionally. Like I don't legit get up here and say the wrong stuff intentionally. If I get some stuff wrong, I'll be wrong, but I don't intentionally try to mislead. Right? Will says, how do you expect him to when he doing it against G League players? He got to get more minutes against. No, yo, that excuse bag is deep, bro. That excuse bag is deep. And Dope Soul Sports Talk says all these guys we say are great coaches have great players. Phil Jackson, Steve Kerr, Pop. They had all NBA top 75 players. You need players. Dope Soul, are you saying that Tibbs didn't have players? Are you suggesting that Tom Thibodeau didn't have players? Because if that is the suggestion, then I think we have a topic to parse for the next 30 minutes or so. Because Hardwill, an excellent basketball mind, says the young guys just needed more time. And Dope Soul says not on that level. But Hard Will said the players need minutes. And Dope Soul said he didn't have talent on that level, meaning top 75 all NBA. And so Dope Soul says, not so is BK Steph backing down a little, giving some wiggle room here? Not on that level, and they have to play together and grow together. Hardwell, that was your out. So BK Steph gave you Dope Soul gave Hardwell an out right there. Hardwell said that's true, and we always say Tibbs asked for more talent. Right.
Hey Freezy, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So are you moved on from this idea of Mitchell, or do you think we should say screw and go all in no matter what the picks are?
My thoughts on the Donovan Mitchell thing is I want Spider. Right? I want Spider desperately. Right? And for all the naysayers that brought up 1,000 different reasons why not to get him, all it did was further the point that we should get him. Like the whole thing about can I be an obnoxious Knicks fan just real quick? Coach, you mind if I be an obnoxious Knicks fan real quick?
By all means.
I'm prefer gonna be I'm gonna not be Uncle Freezy, right? I'm gonna be Lou from New Rochelle. I'm not gonna be Uncle Freezy from Blorange Tears. I'm gonna be Lou from New Rochelle. You mind it? You mind if I do that? Just humor me on it. Just say go with it, Lou from New Rochelle, right? Coach, this is Lou from New Rochelle, long-time listener, first-time caller. I don't like this small backcourt. I want a backcourt of big, gigantic human beings. Thank you for taking my call. I'll hang up and listen. Right? And so this is what I'm going to say to Lou from New Rochelle. Right? Lou from New Rochelle. You sound like a smart dude. Right? But don't have revisionist history. Didn't you just see in the chat that Hardwill said that Tom Thibodeau played veterans over kids? Hardwill said that Tibbs played veterans over kids, right? He played veterans over kids, right? All right. So understanding that he played veterans over kids, who were those veterans and how tall were they? And what record did they have? Right? So last year, the Knicks started a guy 6'7" at point, Alec Burks, and a guy 6'7" at shooting guard, Evan Fournier. And the Knicks won 37 games. 37 games. They started Alec Burks about 48 games, right? So that backcourt started together about 48 games. And the Knicks finished the season with a 37 and 45 record. And so we take that same premise that we need a huge backcourt, even though we started one last year for 48 games, we preferred that over Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell. A huge backcourt over Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell. Are you kidding me? Is that the question? Is that what we're saying? That we would prefer 2 6'6", 6'7" guys, right? We started 2 6'7" guys, 6'6.5", whatever, however tall they are, right? 2 6'6" guys, 2 6'6" and up guys in the backcourt, and we finished the season with 37 wins. but we question two guys that both made the playoffs on their individual teams. Jalen Brunson made the playoffs on his team, and Spider Mitchell made the playoffs on his team. Yet, we started a tall backcourt together, and we missed the playoffs. I'm just saying. Hey, JJ, nah. People are saying that. Yes, they are. People are saying that. That is a narrative in Knicks universe, brother. That they don't want a tiny backcourt. My only question is that what you gonna do with 2 6'1" guards? It's a tiny backcourt. Rob the Knick came on the show and talked us to death.
Hey, Freezy, the last I checked.
Hey, you got YouTube playing. You probably gonna have to turn it down, bro.
Donovan Mitchell, like basketball isn't played with the top of your head. Like, this isn't soccer. They don't bounce the ball on top of their head when they're going down the court, right? Just because their height, they're only 6'2", you know, they don't take into account the length. Like, you know, Donovan Mitchell's got a 6'10" wingspan. And like, basketball's played with your arms. You know what I'm saying? So, and the way he jumps, that's athleticism.
Right.
You know, Brunson's size, you know, he's strong. Like, they're both strong guards. Like, people don't understand these two guys have been playing at the size they're playing at for a lot of years. They've been this height for a long time. So they've learned how to use their body and their quote unquote shortcomings. You know.
Hi, that was a pun.
A little pun action.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand. Like, there's a moment where the short doesn't hinder their play. Like, when has their height hindered a part of the game that they're known for? Now, the only thing a couple times they say some bigger athletic guards, you know, they had problem on defense with.
Right.
Well, and that's what it comes down to. You know, we have a rim protector. We got other guys that play team defense. You know, it's a team sport. You know, so I don't know. When you make that list of the pros and cons, there's too many pros to be worried about the damn height.
Right. And here's a thing too that I brought up to the chat yesterday. I thought it would get more traction, but maybe my assumption is not correct. And maybe the chat can help me with this. Donovan Mitchell at age 25 has made it through the treacherous injury years. Right? He's made it through the treacherous injury. And what I'm talking about is like the injuries that like the Zach LaVines have, like the torn ACL, or the Derrick Rose, right? The Dennis Smith Jr.'s, the explosive guards that have those injuries that limit them once they get to that 24, 25, 26 age, right? He made it through that. I mean, everybody, a lot of the young guards went through it. Dwayne Wade went through it. You remember Dwayne Wade used to be hurt all the time? Explosive when he was young. Went through the injury spells. And I'm trying to think of who else I can remember who was injured.
Joel Embiid. He was
Joel
injured
Embiid.
His first 2 years.
Yeah, Joel Embiid.
Look at him now.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who else was super athletic. Russell Westbrook didn't go through any of that. Steve Francis didn't go through it. But that's who I think Donovan Mitchell is, kind of like a better version of Stevie Franchise. Right. Hey, Will, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Oh boy. Here come Cash. Cash look like he's salty too. Cash, Cash, you gonna go up somebody's head? Cash, what's good, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm
Sally,
good, man.
what's good?
Yeah, no, I'm not salty. I'm good, man.
Okay,
It's nothing wrong in having a difference of opinion, man.
Right.
And see, I can always respect other people's opinion and not be offended by it, because we can always agree to disagree. But the point of the matter is, we all here for the same purpose, and that's for the Knicks to be good. Because
I'm just saying that hard will is wrong, bro.
Right.
I'm just saying hard will is wrong, bro. I'm just saying hard will is wrong, bro.
Yeah.
Hard will. If y'all see, if anybody in the chat see hard will, I think he left the chat. I think hard will left the chat. But if y'all see hard will, tell him I said he wrong, bro.
All right. Well, I'm sure he's gonna address that.
Who Hardwood? No, you won't.
At some point, he's gonna come and address that.
Hardwell ain't even in the chat no more. Hardwell probably at work. Hardwell probably at work. Hardwell ain't in the chat no more. I ain't seen Hardwell putting it in the chat in a minute. So if I see Hardwell, tell him I said he wrong. I'm just messing with you.
But some players, man. I mean, I know you disagree with what I said, but I look at, like, for an example, I'm going to mention a player. He wasn't great, but he ended up with 7 rings. But I mean, he was good, but he wasn't no superstar. Robert Horry. He won his 7 rings with a variety of teams, and he fitted in pretty good with those teams that he played for. Now, for an example, the first team he played for was the Houston Rockets.
Right.
He was a nice complimentary piece, coming off the bench for them. And, he provided some scoring, defense because of his length, his size and length and so forth. And, that's why I was referencing my point as regards to, sometimes it may be coaching, maybe it could be, the system that's being played, because we know when we look at the Knicks as it's currently constructed, all the pieces still don't fit. It's still some moves to be made in which, you talked about Spider Mitchell or whatever that needs to be made. So I'm hoping, this team, going into next season, that we kind of speed things up, that the pace really picks up with Brunson, and I'm pretty sure it will. Now, for other complementary pieces, I mean, we got to wait and see, because we're in a fluid situation, and you hear from different sources here and there. I mean, I think a lot of it is bogus. I mean, there's only 3 credible sources. That's Shams, that's Woj, and Ian Begley. Okay. The rest of them is dicey and sketchy. They're doing it for ratings, try to get somebody to listen to them. But we ain't about that. This is about us as Knicks fans. So we ain't about all that BS. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. You know what? I think with the Spider deal, and this is just my opinion. The chat can kill me on it or whatever. I don't think the Spider deal is going to go down, because Leon said, this is the chessboard. This is how it's set. These are the moves that's going to be made, and that's pretty much it, dog. I don't care if you're Danny Ainge. This is it. Okay. We got the best package. You can go out there and see if you can get something better. If not, we good. We just stand pat. On to the next.
Okay.
That's just my take. I mean, I hope it does go down. Of course, we all hope it goes down. But right. Danny Ainge is, I think he's putting propaganda out there to try and, boost the price up, make us feel bad or whatever.
Right.
But, I ain't down with that. And the last point I want to make, Freezy, is everybody hate on us, man. You know everybody like to hate on us, man. They pick on us. And right. I think what's going to happen, man, when this ship gets pointed in the right direction and we get some sustained winning, I think we as Knicks fans, man, we should I know that temptation's out there to talk junk or whatever. I mean, we probably will. Some of us will. I mean, even myself. But yeah. It'll be like, don't hate on us, man. Everybody wants to hate on us. I don't know what it is, man. But I'm cool with that, man. I'm cool with that, because we're gonna persevere, man. That's what makes you that's what makes you tough. That's what makes you grow. I mean, really, that makes us who we is as Knicks fans, man. We can deal with the criticism. If you want to talk about it, you want to hate. So what? Go ahead and hate, man. Because I'm gonna make it do what it do. It ain't gonna stop me, or it ain't gonna stop the Knicks from doing what it do. I think we have the right management system. We have people that are from quote unquote not necessarily New York area, but the Northeast. I know Leon and them. They from South Jersey, but still, they understand
right.
how the game works. And so right. I think in the long term we'd be good, man. We just
right.
We just build it. We continue building this thing right. So we in a good place, man. Overall,
okay.
We're in a good place.
Okay. All right. Hey, I'm smiling because I dig your point, but at the same time, I got some good news, and I want to address your point. But let me say this just real quick. So you can now listen to Uncle Freezy and Blorange Tears on iHeartRadio. So we have a podcast. We have a pod. The pod from last night is on iHeartRadio. I'm gonna see if I can share. I'm gonna copy link to tweet, and I'm gonna put it in the chat. Bam. So there's a link to Twitter. I'm gonna close some of these browsers just real quick that I got up here. But now you can listen to your man on iHeartRadio, which is dope. I think that's dope, man. That's a dope move for us. Now to your point, to the point that you were making, bro. I'm with you. I don't think I could disagree. I'm with you. But let me ask you this. How can you sway somebody else that's on the other side of what you said? How can you sway them, not to your side, but to at least the middle, to get them to at least compromise a little bit, come towards the middle? Can we do that, or is that impossible?
I don't think it's impossible. You can always have a common ground, man. I always say you get a common ground, and you work from there. I mean, everybody's always going to have their own opinion, and it ain't nothing wrong with that. That makes us who we are or whatever. But I think we build from that common ground. We start there rather, and we build from that common ground. So that common ground is this forum where we at, where we're sitting at right now, is the common ground, and we work from there, man.
Okay, Sally, you agree with that?
I think it's bad business, man. That's just. I think that the front office knows that the team's not good enough to win, and right. They don't want to make any mistakes, so they just playing it safe. And the common ground thing is all NBA teams are doing that, and there's such a wide gap of talent in the NBA. If you don't have a superstar like Spider, no matter what, you're not going to compete.
You're not going to compete.
So you can. It's just there's the talent that's coming into the NBA is athletically gifted but fundamentally broken. Okay. And when you get a player that is fundamentally sound and athletically gifted, you end up with Spider, and that's why you need him. So, why have all those draft picks if you're not going to trade them? I mean, I don't get it. It's like saving millions of dollars and sitting home every day. What's the point of having the millions of dollars?
How many teams have cashed in on that many draft picks? That's the main reason we got them. They're poker chips.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Because realistically, you're not going to utilize all those draft picks. It's not possible.
You can't roster them all.
We can get them again.
Exactly.
And there's and here's the thing is with the G League now, it's basically the NBA has 3 minor leagues. You don't even need drafting players anymore. You literally could run your entire prospecting organization from Europe, the G League, the rec leagues, all these guys, that's because they can't. If you don't have a top 20 pick in the NBA, who cares who you get? It doesn't even, you just go search the G League. There's so much talent down there. Look at Jalen Green. He didn't go to college. He was in the G League. Jose
Alvarado was an undrafted free agent.
Right. This whole draft pick thing is
overrated.
Nothing. Yeah. This doesn't make any sense, man. Who you think you're going to draft? Ja Morant? Even if you got Ja Morant. Okay. Now you got Ja Morant still can't shoot. So
Ja Morant and what? So now, even if you get Ja Morant, you have Ja Morant and what?
Right. You don't have all the other picks that Memphis had. Memphis got lucky. You're not going to be. Memphis is, for one Memphis Grizzlies, there's the Orlando Magic. For one Memphis Grizzlies, there is all the bottom dwelling teams like the Spurs who didn't pan out, even though they drafted DeJounte Murray. They didn't work for them. You got to pair these guys up. And if you don't pair them up, you don't have a shot. And if you don't want to win, then be the New York Knicks for the rest of your life. But you guys deserve to win. Be the LA Clippers.
Remember the LA Clippers? Right. Keon Doolin, Michael Olowokandi, Quentin Richardson, Darius Miles, Elton Brand.
Right, there you go.
Yeah. And while I'm not getting at throw away the picks, what I'm saying is be smart, make sure you're prudent. Don't just throw them away. I mean, but if you have to pay a hefty price, pay a hefty price.
Yeah.
Right. But what I would like to say though is this: if the deal doesn't go through, develop these kids. Don't keep them in limbo. This is the thing that I've been getting at the entire time. If you can't get Spider, go get SGA and Jaylen Brown. Right.
No.
And I know you're like, what? Wait a minute. What'd you say?
That'd be better.
Yeah. If you can't get Spider,
go
get Jaylen Brown and SGA. You could get both of them, in my opinion, cheaper.
And I would definitely do that over Spider, because I think SGA, if he gets an opportunity, is going to be a superstar. So if he was on the Knicks, SGA would be talked about like a top 10 PG.
Yeah,
he's lost in OKC.
Yeah, and you know what you have? That helps OKC? Picks. What does OKC want more than anything?
Picks. Sam Presti is crazy about picks. I mean,
and what does Boston have? What do the Knicks have that Boston wants to win a championship right now, right?
Yeah,
what do the Knicks have? What do the Knicks have that can help them win right away? They have a position. They offer the Celtics position flexibility off their bench, right? They offer you guys, like say Quentin Grimes goes to the Celtics. Automatically, if you put Grimes and Marcus Smart together, you have the best defensive backcourt in the NBA. You know how I know this? Because Marcus Smart is a defensive player of the year, and Quentin Grimes in 18 minutes. I'm 17.7 to me is 18. But I went to New Jersey public schools, so I may be off, right? But you put but Quentin Grimes had a higher or a lower but better defensive rating than Marcus Smart. Right? And you put those two together, defending any backcourt in the NBA for, say, them two together for about 20 minutes a game, which is what Quentin Grimes is doing right now in New York. Now you're talking about a championship level defense for a small stretch. Don't take this. Don't all of a sudden say they're the 84 Celtics. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is you add Grimes to a Boston Celtics, and I want to keep Grimes, by the way. But if it means getting Jaylen Brown, c'est la vie, right? But you can offer a Grimes and some other pieces to help that defensive-minded team get over the hump. Now, where you would get more scoring from, and Shami, hey, we're together. It's a small sample size. It's 17.8 minutes a game, 17.7 minutes a game, 18 minutes. I honestly, 18 minutes a game. Why would you need Grimes to play more minutes than that on a championship team anyway? If you need Grimes to play 35 minutes, guess what? You're not a championship team. Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry. If you're depending on Quentin Grimes to come in and play 35 minutes,
yeah.
Sorry. Sorry.
Especially in playoff basketball.
And playoff basketball too?
Yeah.
And high leverage games?
Yeah. It's not.
And here's the thing. Like, people are so scared to get rid of these picks, okay? When Houston made that deal for Westbrook, right? Back when they did that deal, it didn't work out. Like, say Mitchell thing, God forbid, doesn't work out. After the Westbrook thing didn't work out, they have the second most. They have 13 NBA. They have 13 first-round picks.
Yeah, he went to
over
Washington.
the next 7 years.
Yeah.
Getting rid of them. So who's to say we can't do, if we're that worried about giving up picks for 6th graders and 8th graders.
Right now, it's 6th graders. Yeah.
It's.
I don't get.
We're in win now within the next year or two mode. Okay?
The New York Knicks need to approach their business like that forever. I don't understand why the Knicks operate like they're a C market team. They act like they're in Nashville, Tennessee, they act like they're not a worldwide.
They can afford to take chances because we're still making money when we're horrible. So why not take a chance?
How much money is Spider going to get paid just to do appearances at nightclubs in New York City? Hey man, drop by the club. Here's $50K just so we can shout out Spiders at the club. Like, that type of stuff happens every day in those big cities. And I don't understand the Knicks mentality. I think, dude, if they don't go get Spider and they're being cheap, you got to let go of the guy who's making the calls because he's sabotaging potential winning seasons. And Freezy's right. If you're not going to go get Spider, then this is a year you don't worry about making the playoffs. You just develop the talent that you got.
You got it, yeah.
And all the picks that we have is picks that were acquired. They're not our own picks. So realistically, they're expendable anyway.
House money, baby.
You talked about the poker chips. It is. It's house money. Exactly.
Casino money. Play it.
Yeah. So losing them, it's not like, where it wouldn't be like a Carmelo trade where we're gutted because those picks in connection with Carmelo, they were our picks. These picks are other people's picks. We'll still have our picks.
I want to answer G. Robinson's thing. What he said in the chat. OKC is acquiring picks because that's their way they fill the stands.
That's their business model, bro.
That's their business model, bro.
That's their business model.
Yeah. Their business model is hope.
Exactly.
That's what they. Yeah.
So they have to roll that way.
Right. Because think about that. If you're OKC, you have to sell that business model because people out there are not going to be paying premium prices for tickets.
Nope.
Right. So you're not gonna have a big three where tickets used to be $34. Now they're $217. Now you can't take your family to go. Nah, they have to build through the draft and hope that they can't just hit on a star They have to hit on multiple stars at once. They have to cluster. They have to cluster bomb this thing, right? That's how they operate. They'll have to get Harden, Westbrook, Durant all at once. And when they don't have that guy, when they have two of those guys, say when they have Chris Paul and who was it? Chris Paul and who else was there? Was Chris Paul there by himself?
Yeah, Chris Paul,
SGA, and Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, there's Schroeder, SGA.
Yeah, briefly.
Yeah, they still couldn't put people in the stands. When they had Russell Westbrook and Paul George together, they still couldn't put people in the stands.
All right. Now, and I'm a white guy, but now they got two white boys out there, Chet Holmgren and Josh Giddey, and that place is going to be packed no matter if they win or lose. Sam Presti is running a business, and at the end of the day,
it'll be packed with $34 tickets. So it won't be packed with $217 tickets.
You're 100% correct. They're playing to their audience, man. They want to come, they want to watch basketball, they want to drink beer, and they want somebody to root for. They're not the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks is a legendary franchise, and they need to act like it. Like, it's like you're selling Toyotas at a Mercedes dealership. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
There's a certain point you can't, and that's just it. They're taking advantage.
Is he laughing at me because I'm light skinned?
No.
Sally, you laughing at me because I'm light skinned? I'm still black.
I didn't say anything about that.
No. He talked about selling Toyotas at a Mercedes.
I thought he was talking about drinking beer. Okay, no, wait a minute. All right.
Hey, they're in Oklahoma. They're in Oklahoma.
He's busting on your high yellow, man.
Yeah. All love. But you get the point, man. You get the point. They're playing to their audience. They're playing to. I mean, just like Dallas. Dallas is the European team in the NBA. That's where they had to go. They had to go to the Euros because they can't compete with LA and the hit. And let's just call it what it is: the urban culture. Like New York has that. New York has the culture, bro. And
big market team recently has hit home runs in the draft. Like really, the only one right now is Boston. They kind of hit on their draft picks.
Luka by far is the best draft pick. I mean, the Mavericks have hit. They went from Dirk Nowitzki to Luka Doncic. They've done and those are both homegrown draft. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but like anyone that's had real success in the smaller markets, it's been because of the draft. Golden State, San Antonio. Yep.
And that's the thing. Golden State's not a small market because that's Oakland and San Francisco.
Yeah,
and Santa Clara.
Yeah,
that's Napa Valley.
They're not small now. And now they got to worry about
probably Sacramento.
Yeah.
Probably Sacramento too.
Yeah.
That's a big market.
Yeah, but the Knicks right now, they follow
not Napa Valley. I mean Silicon Valley. I'm sorry.
Yeah. They follow that old adage. Even bad publicity is good publicity kind of thing. Right now it's easy to because Pudge just said it in chat. The Knicks they use Knicks for clicks, and that's the same. Usually the most popular Stephen A. Smith takes are when he's crying about the Knicks. That always gets the most clicks. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it makes just as much money and popularity to be bad as the Knicks as it is to be good. So it's like they want to see what they do next.
Get bad press. The Knicks is always going to get bad press, no matter if they win it.
Yeah, because hate it. They're always going to get hate.
Right, and that's just being the Knicks, baby. That's just the Lakers are the pretty girl to dance.
Yeah,
the New York Knicks is the ugly one, but they had the same dance. And that's just the way the media plays them.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I'm sorry, Coach. Let me just throw this out here just real quick. Just a thought, right? If you're the Knicks and Danny Ainge has his asking price and this thing goes on for another, say, a week or so, at what point do you say, hey, man, I can take these 4 players and these 8 picks and go get Jaylen Brown right now? Right? And people will ask, like, well, why would the Celtics give up ask that much for give up Jaylen Brown for that? Well, the Celtics are not going to ask for that much for Jaylen Brown. I'm sorry, they won't. Right? Because, and let me ask you this. Further, if you go to Boston and say, hey, we'll give you R.J. Barrett, 3 firsts, and 2 veterans, say Rose and Fournier, would Boston take that?
Makes more sense for them.
Cash, would you offer R.J. Barrett, Derrick Rose, Evan Fournier, and 2 unprotected first-round picks, and say 1 protected first-round pick and a boatload of second-round picks? Would you take that if you were Boston?
Oh, of course, in a heartbeat. You wouldn't even have to offer R.J. Barrett, but yeah, they'll take that in a heartbeat.
And then think about this. Could you not take the remainder of those picks, right, and then go to Oklahoma City and say, hey, listen, we have this leftover treasure chest of stuff. We got some French fries left in the bag, so to speak. We got some fries left in the bag. And so I'm talking to the big boys now, because little guys, y'all wouldn't understand this reference. Only big boys understand looking in the bag and seeing more food in the bag.
The best fries there is.
Yeah, buddy.
You know
Ain't nothing better than the bottom of the bag.
you know what I'm saying? So only the big boys understand what I'm talking about. Man, they put apple pie in here, okay? You know what I'm saying? So, but you could take that to OKC. Say, OKC, listen, we'll give you 1 unprotected first-round pick and 3 protected picks, and say 3 seconds. And I know that's a lot for SGA. Are you willing to take that for SGA?
Sure.
Right.
And you still have Brunson, right? So you would have Brunson, SGA, and Brown.
And Randall and Mitch.
Yeah. Yep. You're a competitor. Yeah.
And you rebuilt. Now you got rid of RJ. I love RJ. Right. I love RJ Barrett. I ain't gonna lie to you. And he might be the only jersey. No, forget it. I'll never buy a Celtics jersey, bro. I almost went there though. Cash, you see how I almost thought about it? I almost thought about it. I almost thought about it.
You had a moment.
But I'll never buy a Celtics jersey, bro. The only Celtics jersey I was even thinking about buying is the green JoJo White jersey. Man, I love JoJo White. The only sin he ever committed was playing for the Celtics. Yeah. In my eye, that's the only sin he ever committed. But if I could turn RJ Barrett into Jaylen Brown, done. And I love RJ. And I know Haduka Sharon somewhere is creeping around like, yo, you said you love RJ. I do love RJ, bro. But if I could turn RJ into Jaylen Brown, well, RJ and some draft picks, bro, and roll out Jaylen Brown, SGA, Jalen Brunson, when y'all was making me wait on a Spider Mitchell deal that I was going to pay the same price? Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Danny, we all know Danny Ainge's is, even Utah is saying Danny Ainge's price is to the moon.
He's delusional.
Right, but I could take that asking price and turn it into an SGA and a Jaylen Brown.
Right.
Now what Knicks fans will say, but Uncle Freezy, what do you do with the rest of the roster? You don't have nobody coming off the bench. So what? Me and Cash will come off the bench. Me, Cash, and Sally will come off the bench. What are we talking about?
The rotations in the playoff is 7 men at most, 8 men at most, man. You ain't regular season ain't nothing but the day job.
Well, if Tibbs is coach, that's all it's going to be anyway.
Right.
Yo, me and Hardwill will come on. Me and Hardwill will come off the bench.
Right. Because you never playing 5 bench players at the same time. They just rotating it.
What was the deal that they tried to offer with the KD thing?
I don't even want KD, man. Don't even.
Yeah, they
No. I'm not saying. I was just curious.
You talking about Boston, right? Boston. I think the Brooklyn offered.
It was only a couple of picks.
Yeah, they offered Jaylen Brown. They offered Jaylen Brown and like two picks.
It was Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and 3 picks, I believe.
No, that was Brooklyn. No, that was Brooklyn counter. That was their counter offer.
Counter offer.
Yeah, that was Brooklyn's. That was Boston's counter offer, and Brooklyn turned it down. They were like, no.
Yeah.
So because Brooklyn lowballed, and they were like, give us KD for Jaylen Brown, blah, Bill Russell, Larry Bird, all this stuff for KD. And they're like, nah, but here's our counter. And it was basically Brooklyn's entire roster and all their draft picks, and both sides hung up the phone. Basically, that's how it went. Now the particulars is neither here nor there. It ain't even important. Both hung up the phone. Both sides thought both sides were ridiculous, right?
You know
But
what's
go ahead.
you know what's so funny about that situation is how in the beginning, if you think about it, you remember when Garnett and them got traded, how Boston fleeced them, and those picks turned out to be the players that they're trying to negotiate for now and draft picks. So it's like they're trying to get back what they lost years ago, but it ain't going down like that.
It ain't going down like that. But if I'm the Knicks, I take a hard look in the mirror and say that, and this is what I want to see. I like talking to BK Steph, right? I like talking to Dope Soul, because Dope Soul thinks neutrally, like smart. Like Dope Soul thinks smart, very intelligent, but like in the middle, like me. I think we have like a personality type somewhere that's alike. Like me, like Hardwill and I have personality traits that are alike. Like both of us love the fight. We love the entanglement, man. We love but both of us are learning that if we do this right here, that we have to be more moderators as opposed to the ones engaged in the debate stuff, right? Like so, but Dope Soul, this is what I wanted to talk to Dope Soul about. And I want you guys to answer too, but this is directed at her. Dope Soul, would you be opposed to the Knicks following Julius Randle's timeline as opposed to the RJ Barrett timeline? And the reason why I asked is because the front office went out and got a point guard that is on Julius Randle's timeline. And Donovan Mitchell, the guy that they're chasing, pursuing, is on Julius Randle's timeline. And if the front office is playing it out based on Julius Randle's timeline, what does that do for the RJ Barretts of the world? Because in theory, if we get Donovan Mitchell, say Utah agrees to a trade with us today, then all of a sudden we have to enact the No Child Left Behind laws for RJ Barrett and them kids that's remaining. Because we're fast tracking towards the playoffs with a bunch of dudes that are 26, 27, 28 years old, right? Not the kids that are 20, 21, 22 years old. And we got about 10 kids. Well, I think 7 kids, like 23 and under, or something like that, right? But the stars of the team, the heavy hitters, are on Julius Randle's timeline. So now what do? Do you keep the kids and waste time with burn up Donovan Mitchell's prime? Or do you get rid of the kids, bring in more players that are on Julius Randle's timeline and try to win with that? Basically, do you win with Randle or do you win with RJ, knowing that you cannot win with both?
Good question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
The minute we get Mitchell is win now. So
right,
we get rid of the young guys. We get rid of. We can flip these older guys into picks later if it doesn't work out. But that's just the mindset I'm at right now. I'm done being the Westchester Knicks, bro. I'm not trying to be the G League, developing 7 or 8 guys at once. I'm done with that project.
Yep.
I know it's been 2 years only, quote unquote, but we got too many things the arrows pointing at
but it's not
the
coach,
right direction.
But it's not, coach, because in 2017 the Knicks traded for drafted Frank Ntilikina. In 2015, they drafted Kristaps Porzingis. This is not a all of a sudden new thing, youth movement type thing. The Knicks been had young cores already, bro. We already had these conversations. I
understand, but we haven't had 7 or 8 at once, though. We've got a lot right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had like 3 or 4.
You don't remember Luke Cornett, Isaiah Hicks, Alonzo Spear, Johnson, Frank Ntilikina, Kevin Knox.
I try not to remember that.
Me too. I'm trying not to remember it either, but
but that's what I'm saying. Like we can't relive that. And yeah, so these guys are a little obviously better level than we did then. But right now we got to strike while the iron's hot. They're all good enough to where some teams might be a little bit intrigued, and that might be worth a little something.
Yeah, I gotta. You brought up something silly that it triggered this. I'd be interested in knowing the age demographic of opinion, the ones that want to keep the draft picks and the ones that want to trade for Spider, because it seems like the older you are, the more you want to win now, and the younger you are, you want to keep it for the future because that's what you're thinking about. Is you're thinking about your future daily. Whereas when you're old, when you get older, you're just like, well, this is what it is. I ain't trying to wait 5 more years to get that. I'm trying to get that Lexus now. This ain't a goal no more. You know,
I joked about this earlier a couple streams ago. 2020, people were tripping on this 2029 pick. Hell, me and Freezy's butt and Cash, we might not be alive in 2029. I ain't trying to wait.
We ain't trying to wait on that for what? I might be wearing diapers in 2029. I ain't trying to.
It's a mindset thing. So you got to demographics.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be selfish, but
that's the truth.
What you think about this? You bring out an interesting point, and I'm just thinking about timelines. Okay, you make that move. Say we get Spider, trade RJ for Jaylen Brown. So you got Brunson, you got Spider, you got Jaylen Brown, you got Julius, and you got Mitch.
Right.
What you think?
I like that. Let me address the super chat real quick. The Smoking Nick Smoke. What's good, man? Where you been? How you been? Smoke says I've been saying that, Freezy. Thank you for the generous contribution. Did Dope Soul answer the question? I want to see if BK Steph answered the question, and if she saw it. BK Steph, did you see that? Did you hear the question? She said, let me see. 50 wins now only because I've seen enough to know those draft picks haven't worked out for us. I don't know if so. Okay. So basically what I'm getting at is this, right? There are 2 different timelines existing at the same time on this team. It's the Randall timeline that includes Jalen Brunson. And then it's the RJ timeline that includes all these kids, right? And for those that think I'm just making up stuff, listen, it's math. Either you 21 or 22 or you not. Either you 26, 27, 28 or you not. Yep. That's not made up stuff. That's real. That's math. That's math. I know y'all know it. That's age. That's numbers. And so if the Knicks trade for Donovan Mitchell, that's one more person in that Julius Randle age group. That's one more person, right? And now you're talking about your best players both being 26 and then the third best player being 27, about to be 28. That's math. That's not magic, right? And the kids, they're for the most part, they're the ones that are going to play are 23 and under. Aside from Mitch, you don't know which side Mitch camp, and you don't know which camp Mitch is going to be in because he's 24, right? But for the most part, you have to acquiesce to one timeline or the other because parsing particles never works. You can't parse particles. You can't.
I would put Mitch and I would put Obi with really in the Brunson timeline because they're only within 2 years apart, right. A year and some change, I believe, between all 3 of them.
And I said particles. I meant to say participles. Yeah. Sally, why you ain't correct me, bro? You know, I sounded mad ignorant just now. You just let me run. Sally didn't say it's parsing participles. The participles, Uncle Freezy, is not parsing particles.
So really, when you look at personnel,
I didn't know myself, Freezy, so I just stayed quiet.
The timeline of RJ consists of Jericho Sims, McBride, Grimes. Let me see who else. And Reddish. That is the timeline of R.J. Barrett
and Deuce,
then,
right?
Yeah, and then the other players are the timeline of Brunson and Julius and so forth. So those are the two different timelines if you want to break it down based on personnel. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think Hardestein is like 25 too.
25,
yeah, 25 years old. So those are the breakdown of personnel between your two timelines.
Yeah, and yeah, man. When Donovan Mitchell comes, bro, when Donovan Mitchell comes, now you're talking about Brunson 26, Spider 26, Randall 27. Depending who else is left on the roster after the Donovan Mitchell trade, you'll have basically those three players will be the best three players on the team, and RJ will be the fourth best player. And I'm not saying that RJ's
quickly. I got quickly. I'm sorry.
And quickly too.
Yeah, quickly.
Right. I'm not saying that RJ's a bad player, but I'm just saying right now, I would rank them as Spider, Julius, Brunson, RJ. Right. And Julius only gets the nod over Brunson because Julius made an all-star team. And Julius has more 20-point. Julius Randle has had more impact by himself on a losing team, in my opinion, than Brunson has had impact on a winning team next to a generational talent. And I'm saying that, and I'm giving Julius the slight nod, but Julius Randle over Jalen Brunson by one feather. That's it. He's just a feather better than Brunson. Right?
But in terms of hierarchy, say in running the offense, I would want Julius Randle at number 3, and this is the reason why. He's always going to have the advantage. Number three. No. When I mean number 3, I'm talking about number 3 option in terms of the mechanics of the offense, and this is the reason why. He's always going to have the advantage, whether he's out on the mid-range or in the post. Because he's a beast. Nobody can guard Julius one-on-one. No one player. I mean, because if they're gonna focus the attention, say, on Spider, and Brunson does his thing, it's, to me at that point, it's going to be about matchups. And Julius, as a lower option, will always have a more favorable matchup, which will make his game better and probably make him a lot more efficient.
Yeah.
So I like that better because I look at how he played in New Orleans. Obviously, when he was in New Orleans, he wasn't the number one option. He was, obviously Anthony Davis was the number one option, but you saw that he was a beast when he.
Are you saying he was better in New Orleans than he was in New York?
No, my point in terms of
potential
offensive mechanics, the hierarchy in terms of scoring options. He wasn't the number one scoring option.
Okay.
I would gets to his spot, I mean, he can get to his spots better. He has less attention drawn to him. And hopefully he's learned from the experience of being on the Knicks that, okay, even if they run a double team, being that third option and they run a double team, he can be able to pass out of the post or, whatever position he's in.
Yeah. He could grow old too. Like he could grow old gracefully in New York with Spider and JB because he could he could be moved down to how LeBron's worked, get the ball deep into him without him having to work a lot. There's a lot of offense. There's a lot of sets you can run with Julius Randle.
It's less pressure. I mean, Julius is good. I mean, as much as we hate on him, but the thing was in New York, I mean, here, Julius is not a number one option. He's just a piece.
But Cash, but to the question though, what I'm asking is which one do you choose? Do you choose Julius Randle's timeline, or RJ Barrett's timeline. And be careful. This
Julius
is a trick
Randle.
question.
You get Spider. You got to go.
This is a trick question because I have an example loaded. I have an example locked and loaded for everybody.
You got to go with to get right to the point and answer your question. You got to go with the players in their prime. You got to roll with players in their prime.
The proven player is Julius Randle. I go with Julius Randle.
Yeah, you got to go with prime because
and so the reason why I asked that is because the Boston Celtics just made the same decision. The Boston Celtics basically made the same decision. They were like, do we go with Tatum and Brown's timeline, or do we wait on these young kids behind them to get better to help Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? Right? And you know what they said? Trade them damn kids. Trade them kids. Get them kids. They traded them kids for Derek White.
Yep.
Right? They Derek White and
they got rid of all these kids. They got rid of all them kids.
Yeah,
so that they can get some support for the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown timeline. Yep. Is what I'm getting at. No team has multiple cores developing at the same time.
Right.
No, you don't have enough resources to do that. You just don't. It's hard enough developing a young core individually. Right?
Yep.
It's like hurting cats. You like Cam Reddish is always hurt. You know he needs to work on his defense. So now you got him on one side rehabbing and teaching him the defensive scheme. RJ Barrett can't finish at the rim, and he's always hurt, and he can't shoot free throws. So now you're rehabbing his injuries and trying to get him to get better at free throws. Meanwhile, you're working on his natural progression. Meanwhile, Quentin Grimes is the best shooter in the world in practice, but you can't translate it to the game. So now you're trying to give him game minutes and stuff to pull the very best out of Quentin Grimes. Meanwhile, Emmanuel Quickley is like, you told me I was the best shooter you ever saw. Right? And Emmanuel Quickley can't translate the way he shoots in practice to games. Quickley has faith in the way Emmanuel Quickley shoots. That's why Quickley has had the greenest of all green lights since day one he stepped in the NBA. Unlike Miles McBride, who Tibbs won't let shoot, right? And then you have Obi Toppin, right? But the chat wants me to think that developing these young guys by just giving them minutes is easy. Meanwhile, you have Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson over here wanting to win a title.
Yep. You're right, for
you got all that stuff going on. You got all that stuff going on, and y'all want me to believe that a single NBA coaching staff can handle all this stuff.
You know what, Freezy? This is Chick-fil-A. I sell chicken at Chick-fil-A. I don't sell hamburgers.
Right.
It's this. You pick one and go with it. You want to sell chicken or you want to sell hamburger? You want to be a Five Guys? You want to be a Chick-fil-A? You can't be both because you're going to do both. You're going to do both.
I would agree with that based on when I look at what you mentioned about Boston. Another team I look at too is Golden State. You know, because they had to make a decision at one point as regards to their core of Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry, and we see how that's turned out. So that's a good point. I never thought about it from that perspective, but again, I think I would have to say that the front office, hopefully they had that in mind. I mean, I know they talked about successive moves if Donovan Mitchell go down, like Julius Randle for an example, but I don't know. Maybe you need to revisit that or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the course of action is, but it's
like baseball, Cash. Thought. It's like baseball. Look at the Padres. Padres just got Soto, right?
Yeah, I seen that.
So
wow, yeah.
So that's so at the end of the day, they just going to go get who they got to get to go try to win a World Series. Yeah. Now, the Baltimore Orioles, they're the ones that got rid of Manny Machado because they decided they wanted to focus on their farm system. And the Baltimore Orioles have one of the best farm systems in baseball, if not the best farm system.
That catcher, Andy, what's his name? Andy, the catcher I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, Rosserman. I can't pronounce. I can't pronounce his last name. I know you're talking about.
Man, that dude's gonna be a stud, bro. He's gonna be better. He's gonna be better than Wieters. Remember Wieters?
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
catcher?
Well, yeah. Matt Wieters was a 6'5" switch hitting catcher. You know, in baseball, if you're a switch hitting
Prototype, bro.
catcher, you're going to be on them. You're going to be on a Major League Baseball team.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
The Orioles have done but that's the analogy I think we can use is Freezy's right. Either you're going to be the Padres or you're going to be the Orioles. You pick. You're at a crossroads.
Right.
You're at the crossroads.
And you have to go in one direction or the other. Now, am I saying that I dislike the kids? That's not what I'm saying.
It's not personal. Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I dislike the kids. That's not
business. It's business.
What I'm saying is we have to pick a direction and go. Either you want to go get these championships right now, or you want to go get them championships later,
or
right?
never. That's the thing.
Never. Or never. That's the thing that's been hurting us. But the thing is with this team, when I say Julius Randle's timeline, people get frustrated and upset about Randle. Don't get frustrated and upset about Randle. Just look at it for what it is. If you bring in Donovan Mitchell, if you bring in Jaylen Brown, right? If you bring in one of those two, you're on Julius Randle's timeline. And I know y'all hate Randle, bro. I know, not y'all, but I'm saying in general, I know people hate Randle. But you can't ask players. You can't. Sorry about that, Danny. I thought you was okay. You can't ask people at a certain age to wait on somebody else to get younger. If I'm 26, why am I waiting on a dude 22?
Yep. Well, that's funny that you bring that up, Freezy, because if you probably know this, you're military, but the battalion of tanks. So the question is, how is the speed determined by the battalion of tanks? Right? I don't know.
The infantry.
The slowest tank goes in front. That's how the speed of tanks travel, and it's the same way in sports. Your growth is you're going to grow as fast as your star player. And why is Jalen Brunson waiting on Grimes?
He shouldn't have to.
If he's doing that, he made a huge mistake because he's going to be in the finals in the next 2 years with Luka.
Right.
So
right.
Why did he leave the Mavs to go to New York if he's not looking at a championship? Why? Why would you do that?
Why would you?
Ego? I mean, that's the only other reason.
Right. It just doesn't make sense in my mind. But the thing is I like Obi as a player. I like RJ. I like Grimes, McBride, Quickly, Farron Hunt, who's a sleeper. I like all these dudes, right? But you have to do this thing one of two ways. Either if you keep all these kids, you have to go get a megastar. When I say megastar, I'm not talking like, oh, go get Kyrie Irving. I'm talking about you have to go get the best player in the league and hope he's willing to drag that young core to a championship.
And they're not.
And most of these guys are not, because winning championships is freaking hard.
Yep.
With a good team is hard. And you ask a megastar to do it with some kids? Nah. Steph Curry wouldn't even take on that job.
The only superstars that stay on losing teams are Europeans. That's it. And you don't have any Europeans because Luka's not leaving Dallas ever.
No.
Jokic is never leaving Denver.
No, he ain't.
Those two will stay on those teams no matter what the records are.
Right. Because they have different backgrounds. They have a loyalty system that's different from what we have over here. You know what I'm saying? They grew up rooting for team. Like Real Madrid is a thing to them.
That's the Yankees.
So yeah.
Bigger
so
than the Yankees, actually.
Yeah. And the only way this team can win a championship with a bunch of kids is by going to get a star so big that he can cover up for all their flaws as they get older, as they develop and get older.
And they don't exist anymore.
They don't, bro. They don't exist anymore. Now, if you don't choose the Julius Randle timeline, right? Say if you choose the RJ timeline, you got to get rid of Julius Randle.
And do what with? What are you gonna get for him? Nothing but young bucks.
Right. You got to get rid of, and so that the reason why I asked the question is it's either or, and to not be hypocritical. Notice when I said if you're Randall timeline, you got to get rid of the kids, right? So if you choose the RJ timeline, guess what you got to do to the other timeline? You got to eliminate them, get them out of the way so the kids can play.
Yep.
And I'm sorry if people can't follow, and I'm sorry if people can't follow what it is I'm saying. Maybe people's hearts are in the way. But what I'm saying to you is earnest. I'm saying this from the middle of the road. I'm saying if it's Julius Randle's timeline, then you got to get rid of the other timeline. You can't have one buoying down or anchoring down the other, right? So if you're Randle's timeline, if you go with Spider, Brunson, Julius, and some other young vets in that same age group, you got to get rid of the kids. But now listen, if you go with the kids, guess what you got to do to Brunson and Julius Randle?
Move on. Because
you got to let these young kids play.
Yep.
And I know some people in the chat don't get it. They feel like I'm just speaking to both sides, but I am speaking to both sides from a neutral perspective. I'm in the middle saying if it's RJ's timeline, get rid of the other timeline so RJ's timeline can grow.
Well, it's a simple question too.
Yeah, I thought it was simple.
Well, okay, here's a question for anyone that's not understanding what Freezy's saying. How many minutes are in an NBA game? And if you were in control of the minutes, how would you divvy them up between veterans that are competing for a championship and young players? How would you divvy them up? That's the question.
Right.
You're going to complain that Grimes is getting 15 minutes a game, but you're also trying to make the playoffs.
Right.
They can't be both, like Freezy said.
You can't.
If Grimes is getting 30 minutes, you are not in the playoffs, bro.
Right. Right.
So what? This is identity crisis. This is a definition of an identity crisis. You know, that's basically
right, fellas,
what this is.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh, Cash, where you going, bro? We just started rocking.
I know.
We only been here 2 hours.
Yo, that's why I'm here. I'm here to replace Cash. You know, relay.
Afternoon shift.
Yeah,
exactly.
Afternoon shift is checking in. I got to check out, man.
All right,
good rocking with you guys, man.
All right, boss.
Hope I didn't scare you away, Cash. I didn't scare you away because you're not gonna come hard.
God bless.
Peace, guys. Have a great day, man.
Come out.
All right.
Hey, Tony Sparks said.
How does this weird stone death mat help prevent slips?
So Tony Sparks said, pick a side already. Bro, I'm again, I'm not picking a side. What I'm saying is, because I'm not rooting for one side or the other. I'm not saying trade RJ and them. And I'm not saying pick Julius and them. What I'm saying is in order for one to grow, you have to get rid of the other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can't bring in I've been saying it, Tony Spark. I've been saying it the whole time. If you play all these veterans, bro, you're not gonna have minutes for these kids. What are we saying?
Do you want to be the Orlando Magic, or do you want to be do you want a team that plays nothing but young rookies, or do you want a team that has veterans play the majority of the minutes while the rookies are working hard in practice? That is it. And on that, I'm going to check out for the afternoon shift as well. God bless everybody. Thank you very much. Y'all have a nice day.
Yeah, man. We'll see you tonight. All right, boss.
Okay, guys. Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah, man. So I'm not looking to throw away. I'm not looking to throw anybody away. What I'm saying is you got to pick a direction and go with it. You can't play both sides of the fence, right? It's just not healthy for either. Like why would a team of 26-year-olds want to drag around a bunch of 20s? It's like going on a date and your mom made you take your little brother with you.
Yeah, very good.
Danny, you know what I'm talking about? You know how you going on a date and your mom like, hey, yeah, you can go, you can take the car, but you gotta take your little brother with you. What? Nah, man. And then it's like you trying to And the flip side to that is like you trying to hang out with your homies and your father in the room. Hey, y'all keep it down over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You know.
But let me say this, Freezy. Let me say this, and good afternoon to everybody, Knicks Nation.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
I hear what you're saying, Freezy, as far as timelines have to match up, but sometimes, and it takes astute team builders to understand that a young Rondo is mature enough to be on a team of veterans.
Right.
See what I'm saying? A young Magic Johnson can come in and tell Kareem to get in the post.
A young Byron Scott. Remember Byron Scott?
A young Byron Scott. So it takes the right people that knows, all right, even though this person is 5, 6, maybe 7, even 8 years older, doesn't mean that they're that far away in basketball IQ. Right. See what I'm saying? And some young players can come in and contribute to a team. Again, Sam Cassell. Olajuwon is 10 years older than Sam Cassell.
Yeah. And Robert Horry, both of them.
And Horry. And you see what I'm saying? So you had young guys. Same thing with Bad Boy Pistons. Rodman was an old rookie, but a rookie nonetheless. Sally was 21, 22. So it really depends on your organization and who's the one doing the team building.
Right. But those are extreme circumstances, though, AD. I ain't gonna lie to you. And I was with you, but my thing is this. And when every time you say make an example like that, I can point to the Orlando Magic, the Shaq and Penny Orlando Magic that had everybody young, and they got rid of all their vets, and the only vet they kept around was Tree Rollins because they knew he was about 2 days away from retirement. Right? You're right. For 4 years, Tree Rollins was 2 days away from retirement. Right? For that Orlando Magic team. Right? And so when you go all young with those teams, you got to get rid of the vets to let these young kids play. You just got to, man. The kids, they got to get all the reps and practice. Look, like I'll give you an example. When people say you got to give these kids minutes, right? They say that, and it's random because they don't speak to exactly what minutes in practice means, right? So for instance, if your team is young and you want them to get starters minutes, guess what they're getting in practice? Starters reps. They're getting starters reps in practice, right? That means they go through the entire process as a starter.
Speaker. The mic is out. Freezing.
Who talking about me?
Oh, that was okay. Oh, yes, you were.
That was AD. I think AD might have had an echo there. That's why I didn't know. But
my bad, gentlemen.
Now, what I'm getting at is this: if you have to go and you have to make one side the priority, right? If you go all young and you have veterans to say be chaperones to supplement, that's okay, right? But if you go all Julius Randle age and then you have a couple of young guys to supplement, that's okay. But the main focus has to be on one group or the other. It can't be both. You just saw the Celtics clean house of all the young dudes they had. All them draft picks that Danny Ainge, Romeo Langfords, Aaron Nesmith, all them dudes, man, they cleared house of all them dudes and got help for that middle core of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Marcus Smart.
Let me ask you this, Freezy. Let me ask you this. All right, since we're going with pick one side or the other. OKC, that team that went to the finals and lost to Miami, they pretty much drafted everybody. Outside of Perk, they pretty much drafted everybody, right?
But how they got Perk was when they traded Jeff Green, a player that they drafted.
Right. They
Perkins.
pretty much right. So they outside of Perk, they pretty much drafted everybody.
Right.
When they got to the finals, they had no veteran leadership to steer them in the water when things got tough.
Right.
Right? Same thing with Orlando, that Orlando team that got swept against Houston.
Yep.
They only had one veteran guy that was Horace Grant. And so you see what I'm saying? I get what you're saying, but you may not be vying for a championship, but all of a sudden you're there. OKC wasn't vying for a title shot that particular season, but they was there.
Yeah, they got hot with KD
right.
came back.
Right. So what do you do? What do you do in this? By chance, you happen to be going to the finals. What do you do? Should you not have someone? Do you not have some cooler heads on that team? Do you not need an Aaron Snow? I mean, Aaron. What's my guy from Philly? Snow and
both of them.
Eric Snow.
They had Eric Snow,
right.
And they had Aaron.
Aaron McKee.
Aaron McKee. Yeah. Aaron McKee and Eric Snow. Yeah.
Yeah, you're always gonna need guys like that, man. Them roster fillers and role players. You gotta have guys like that.
But AD, the point that I was making was the core, not the entire roster. I'm talking about the core.
Okay.
That's the point that I was getting at. Which core are you following? Not the entire roster. You, for instance, give you a good example, a great example. You remember the Seattle Sonics of the '90s?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You remember how young they were, and then at certain positions they were old as dirt, right? And like at certain positions, you like
they got Perkins.
Yeah.
They have Michael Cade,
Fred Bukowski. You remember Fred Bukowski looked like Ivan Drago? Yeah. So I mean, I get what you're saying. But what I'm getting at though is if you go with the young kids, if these young kids are going to get starters minutes, they got to get these minutes in practice, right? So if you giving them the majority of these minutes for them to develop, because they're not going to just develop on the NBA floor, they got to be in that role everywhere. Like Quentin Grimes has to be the starting shooting guard for the New York Knicks in every scenario, in practice, and warm-ups, in the game, all of that stuff, right? You can't just say, well, I'm going to give him 20, 25 minutes a game, but he's going to be the third string shooting guard. Nah, it don't work like that. My man gotta be that. He got to be in that role for good. You got to give him that role, man. You got to give RJ that starting small forward role, man. You feel me? So and hey, Danny, happy birthday, bro.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
What are you doing at work, man?
Yeah, happy birthday, Danny.
Happy birthday, Danny.
Birthday.
Well, hey, what we doing after work, bro?
I have no clue.
I'm sorry. Hey, you froze.
You in that old spot of the building, bro, or something?
The building is old, from 1925.
Yeah, there you go.
It's about
I guess
old, right?
Every spot's old. That's right.
As old as me.
Well, I know one thing. I'm envious of you. Your birthday, you're gonna have some good food no matter where you go. That's what I miss about New York, boy. God, I miss that food.
Yeah. Yeah, Danny, we can't hear you, bro. No, you still breaking up. We can hear you. You're just breaking up.
You're all digitized.
Yeah.
But yeah, to piggyback on what you were saying while he's fixing his stuff, I'm with you on that. It's like all these Knicks fans they want their cake and eat it too situation. It's like, oh, I want to win now. We got to have the best players possible. We can't have a short backcourt, but we're still going to develop these players at the same time. You can't. It's just, you can't do it. It's just like you already spelled it out. Like, you just can't. And I'm not saying it's 100%. That's why, to me, you can't take a on the fence stance on this. It's got to be all in, or we're developing. I mean, we could still be all in, win now, and still have 2 or 3 young guys, ready to, on the back burner. But like you said, the timeline we need to be on is we have Randall, unless they got little things brewing. Like, you hear all these little rumor mills about Randall's name being tossed around. Unless they got something brewing, I mean, I don't know what the next step would be after that.
Now, I was going to jump in on the earlier this morning when I think Freezy, you guys were talking about the talent composition of the team compared to just the timeline. So, of course, timeline would be out the window if you have like a Ja Morant or some superstar young player. So we forget about timeline, the talent matches where everybody is. Randall would love to grab a talented player. I mean, 4 times players around him, no matter what ages they were. So whether they were, a Magic Johnson type team where we had rookie, old players and stuff. So that was one. So for us, though, we know talent-wise, we can't surround, Spider and Randall and Brunson with any superstar talents right now. This move is not going to give that to them, and maybe not even a year away from that. So timeline-wise, and people worry about, it's not the age thing, it's the peak thing. I think RJ is a vet, officially going to become a vet. However, his peak is still probably not going to be until 25 to 28 range.
Right.
So no matter what, Randall's peak is now.
Right.
Mitchell's peak is beginning right now and will end in 4 to 5 years. So Randall may start peaking, and those guys are slowly on their decline, and that's why that timeline is the issue. Is a peak time frame, and that's the literal age time frame. I think Obi's going to peak in 3 years, but then is Mitchell and Randall want to wait 3 years for those guys to peak? I don't think so. I wouldn't.
No, right.
I wouldn't. I'm not looking to be the guy to like guide them. Freezy always talking about Moses. They bring him to the promised land, and he doesn't make it up to the top of the hill. These guys want to be on that hill when the victory happens. So, yeah, I'm all for, and I hate to say it, if we get Mitchell and we're going to keep Randall, then yes, it is time to make another move towards grabbing another, mid-peaking vet, like someone who's going to be on their timeline as far as the peaking timeline. So, yeah.
And you got to look at this, like Randall, if he takes on this role and his new role, and as far as what we're counting on him for, if you got a team where you got Mitchell and Brunson, then RJ steps up in the role we want him to step up into. If you got a team where Julius Randle's your 3rd or 4th on paper best player or guy that moves the needle, that's a pretty damn good team. I mean,
yes.
That's when you start talking teams that are competing. When you got a team where Julius Randle's your 3rd or 4th option, when he's your 1st or 2nd option, no, you're what we are now, So to me, everyone is like Randall's trash. Let's get rid of Randall. You can't tell me that back when we had Melo and all that, if you still had like a Randall level player that was our third or fourth option, you wouldn't be happy with that. If you're not, then you're just a hater. I'm sorry. It's just like, to me, the level that he yeah, we're not happy with his attitude at times last year. He was frustrated, blah blah blah. But when we get Mitchell and Brunson and RJ steps up his game because of that good guard play, and Mitchell Robinson takes his next step because he's going to have guards that get him the ball in good spots. We're going to be a competitive team. We're going to be competing for the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, to me, that's my personal, like, I think we could do that right now if all those things happen.
All right, Reezy Rolex in the draft. We're in a chat. We saw your text, your chat, and he's talking about the best Knicks teams were never built off of draft.
Yeah, never. No, nobody's best teams. There's only really been, like, the Boston Celtics have traditionally been pretty good in the draft. Like, the only time Boston has won recently, though, was when they did the big three thing with Garnett and Pierce and Ray Allen and all that.
That was
now recently they got, Jaylen Brown and Tatum, Smart, and all these guys. But before that, they've always been a draft team too. Unfortunately, two of their best young draft picks they've had back in the day died on them. Len Bias and Reggie Lewis, died too soon. But they recovered from that eventually. But like, besides that, the only teams that have really been consistently competitive are, like I was saying before, the San Antonio Spurs of the world, the Golden State Warriors. Utah has always been a draft team, and it's been competitive. Everyone else made their step up because of free agency.
Exactly.
I mean, that's all there is. I mean, and what have the Knicks shown to change that narrative? Nothing.
Right.
So, to me, at this point, I'm just tired of seeing people like, we're not giving up our young core either. We're giving up. It'd be different if we're saying, oh, we're giving up RJ and Grimes and Cam Reddish and Quigley and Obi. But it's not all of them. It's maybe one or two of them, a couple of vets for the money, and a whole bunch of boatload of draft picks who we don't even know who the kids are yet. So we're still going to have young players to develop. That's what I don't understand.
And the argument with the Warriors again, which Bodega just dropped in there, even though they got extremely lucky, because I'm saying Draymond is a lucky pick. You gotta say that. Even Steph fell into their lap because he should have been picked up earlier.
Yeah, but even they didn't know Clay was going to do that.
Right, exactly. So with those picks, they still needed, Iguodala.
Yeah.
They still needed to go, get lead. They still needed to get vets.
Yeah, the one year they had Durant. This year, Wiggins stepped up for him.
Right. So yeah. So that's not. We actually love. I love to build with these young kids, and again, I'm always for saying that sometimes things need to, changes happen and things come in a different way. But I just don't see our 8 youth right now being a championship team within the next 3 years. And that means Randall is going to be on his decline.
Yeah. I mean, look at all the best teams ever, like the Bulls.
Yeah.
I mean, they acquired Pippen in draft trade. Wasn't he drafted by Seattle? Robin was a trade. I mean, a free agent pick or whatever. Yeah.
Well, let me ask y'all this. Once Jordan, Pippen, and Grant were in place, what other rookies do y'all remember coming in behind those guys? What young players do you remember coming up behind Jordan and Pippen and Grant?
I can't think of any. Oh man.
Right. What young players do y'all remember coming up behind Tim Duncan, Ginobili, and Tony Parker? What rookies?
Right.
I mean, Patty Mills. Like,
right? And I
no
know
one real
some,
sexy, you know.
right? And I know everybody's going to want to say
Well, Kawhi, obviously,
but they didn't draft Kawhi. They traded for Kawhi.
right? Yeah, they did.
They traded George Hill. Remember George Hill used to play for the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
They traded George Hill to Indiana for Kawhi. Right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and Reese Rolex, Craig Hodges was in that didn't come after the Craig Hodges was an old man. Craig Hodges was older, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I mean,
Kukoc didn't come over, even though he was drafted, he didn't come over until their second championship run, right?
Right.
Kukoc was on their second championship run. Right? Was it not second championship run? I think Kukoc came over after they won a championship already, I think. Not the second championship run. I think they won a championship, and then Kukoc came over. They were already champions. They were already champions before Tony Kukoc.
Now, do you guys fear that whichever way we go, because back in the book and talk about the schemes being built around the players that need it, are you worried that no matter which way we go, that offensively we will not have this right scheme to beat the teams we need to beat? Or again, Freezy, you think that, Spanish pick and roll with those guys will be unstoppable?
No, I'm saying the pick and roll, and what the emphasis I'm putting on is the pick and roll, but they did
I
run
wanted to
Spanish
test
pick and roll
out, see how
also.
this air.
Yeah, they ran pick and roll, but they ran some Spanish pick and roll elements during the summer league. Is what I was getting at.
Right. So you think that that scheme with those players, as you look at those players, Spider, Brunson, Randall, Mitchell, RJ, will be effective enough?
Hey, let me do this. Let me scratch that, right? Let me scratch that. Let's say we build around the kids. Rayology says everything surrounding Randall is built on a hypothetical idea of Randall accepting a lesser role behind guys he might feel he's more qualified than, and the basketball scheme Tibbs employs. I don't know, Ray. I don't know, Ray. I think you can apply the same thing to everybody. Because if you build around RJ, everything surrounding RJ is built around the hypothetical idea of RJ might be willing to pass the ball, right? RJ Barrett might become an unselfish player, passing the ball to players that he feels like is in a lesser player than him in a basketball scheme that Tibbs employs. Because RJ Barrett is the only guy in a top 30 in usage, or I'm sorry, the stat goes RJ Barrett, of all the guys in the top whatever in usage rate, RJ Barrett has the lowest assist total. So for as many people that have the ball as much as RJ passes it the least. So what that tells you is that RJ is not a unselfish player. RJ is a very selfish player right now. Right now, RJ is a selfish player. He won't pass it. And I like RJ Barrett. I think RJ Barrett is a better player when he does pass it. And if somebody disagrees with that and puts that in the chat, show me the numbers. Send me a link to RJ Barrett's pass numbers, and I'll agree with
you. Hey, someone dropped in the chat that Kukoc came over and he was 24, just like Obi. But Kukoc was playing pro for years over there. Even though it was less competitive, it wasn't as competitive as it may have been slightly about probably G League if you thought about it. Europe was at the time when Kukoc was playing. So, I mean, there's some point that Kukoc came over and developed into a star, and Obi at 24 is coming in from college I think Kuz was way ahead of him when he came over at 24. Sorry,
Right.
I can't say.
Right.
I can't use that comparison. 24-year-old Kukoc was way more advanced than Obi, and I love Obi. I'm an Obi fan, so
I like Obi too, man.
Oh,
I
Kukoc was already.
yeah.
I mean, he was playing with grown men for years, and he was an Olympic. He was the leader of his Olympic team. You know.
Right. I mean, but Europe 20 years ago, 25 years ago was just above college level. I mean,
Right.
they were good, but they weren't like NBA competitive like some of them are now.
Right. That's right about the time where
the Dream Team,
the amateurs weren't good enough to beat them anymore. So we got to start using the pro guys now. You know.
Exactly. All those grown men were beating up our college kids. That was wild.
Yeah.
And then we had to come shut them down big time with that Dream Team. That was crazy. Oh man.
Yeah.
Those are the days. That's what some of these kids also miss. So when you talk about the new school, old school, as far as the thought process, that was actually one thing I want to talk about. Was their new school who, because they've never tasted victory, want us to win now. And their old school guys who did taste the victory are patient enough to want to wait till Freezy is drinking through a straw and wearing diapers. They're like, so I think there's a mix there, but I think the majority of old schoolers are like, I want to see a championship in my lifetime. And then the new schoolers are like, you know what? We're doing better. We see a path to 2028, world championship. And so that's one of our dynamic why we're so divergent in who wants to make the deal and how much they want to spend. I think almost everyone wants to make a deal for Mitchell right now. The only ones who don't are worried about the height thing, and that can be dispelled easily. But everyone depends on where you are and where you want to go. Is worried about how much you're going to pay for it. And to tell the truth, I'm getting more and more closer to the point of I'm giving Ainge a little bit more than what I would have given him a month ago.
So you're caving in.
Well, the thing is, in the end, a lot of people are going to say that, oh, he won. But you know what? If we get the thing we wanted, who's the winner for real?
Yeah, points.
I mean, the only time to know is he's won is if 3 or 4 of them picks hit, or hell, even 1 or 2 of them hit, and all of a sudden Utah's winning championships with the draft picks we gave him. Then in the end, okay, he won.
Or actually, we could both win. If we win a chip or get to the finals this year, and get to even ECF this year, and then NBA finals next year, and then they get a chip, or they get a couple of rookies the next 2 years. So 2028, okay, let's say 2027 or 2026, their rookies are coming around to start helping them win. But we already got to championships. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. We will actually be so happy being in ECF or in the NBA finals. Next 3 years, 2 of the next 3 years, we'll be like, oh man, we won that trade. And then they will be in 2026 going, here we come. And if at that point they're doing great, then they'll go much. But in the end, we won. So it could be a win-win in a time frame based on what you're looking at. And for us to be in that level of play and then now attracting other players because we are a competitive team, it could be a win-win. And I don't think it's something that we should rule out. Let them have some picks, let them have a couple of youth, and let us go to the ECF in the next, within the next 2 years. Let's get on the second round next year. I'll get to the second round and have a comparative, 6-game series in the second round upcoming, 2023. And we're like, man, what a great deal that was. I'll forget about Obi and Deuce if we're in the ECF next year.
Right.
And I still follow them and keep worried about what they're going to do. But I'll forget about them if we're in the ECF, at least for that moment, that one moment in time. Go ahead, sing it, Freezy. Go ahead, do your Whitney impersonation. One moment in time.
You believe children of the future?
No, one moment at a time. No, one moment at a time.
Right.
I'm okay for that. Like last year when we won the one game and we're outside the Garden and we're going big bog, that moment in time, Knicks fans were like, I don't care what happened in the past, it was worth it to be in that spot. So if we're in the ECF, we're gonna feel that same feeling and be like, oh man, I love Grimes, I love what's the name again? Obi what?
Right. You won't even remember, bro.
Exactly.
You won't even remember.
We won't.
But so I have here, right, the league leaders in usage rate, right? And for those that think I'm just bashing RJ Barrett, and I'm not. Right. For those, I'm gonna put it on the screen also. So for those that feel like I'm bashing RJ, when I'm pointing out that this is an area of improvement, I'm not bashing RJ. Right. I'm pointing out this is an area of improvement for RJ Barrett. Right. I'm not saying that RJ Barrett is a bad player. Right. I'm just pointing out an area where RJ Barrett can improve. Right. All right. Y'all see the title, usage rate leader 21-22, right?
Yep.
So RJ Barrett ranks, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24th in the NBA in usage rate, right? And
what was he ranked as a scorer?
I don't know. I don't have that pulled up. But in usage rate though, he's ranked 24th in the NBA in usage rate, right? And of all the people that are in this category with him, RJ Barrett of the 25 players up here, RJ Barrett is last in assists. Of the 25 people up here, RJ Barrett is last in assists. And ironically, let me count backwards. So 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. Julius Randle is 18th in the league in usage rate, right? And he averaged 5.1 assists. So your supposed shooting guard averaged 3 assists a game, and your supposed power forward averaged 5.1 assists a game. So your shooting guard averaged less assists than your power forward, right? The numbers, right? The numbers don't lie, bro. The numbers don't lie.
Now it could also be who are they passing the ball to? Maybe Randall is making a more high IQ pass for easier score, but the players giving it to. I'm gonna be devil's advocate and said I'm not for RJ at all. I think that's terrible. But is he not passing to the right person to then get an assist? Because the guy, no.
Wiz, he a ball hog, bro. He a ball hog.
I know. I'm just trying to save him.
He a ball hog.
I agree. He kept the ball more than he should on some occasions, but I've also, I've heard you Freezy on both sides of this with him too. Look at his situation. He was forced into that ball hoggery sometimes, because of his surrounding pieces. I mean, were we talking about him being a ball hog last year? The year before last?
Yeah, I was. I've always said said RJ Barrett is a ball hog. Like he's not. The thing I'm getting at. Hey, Ray, what's good?
Being
man?
a ball hog isn't a problem if you're efficient.
Right.
So it's only a problem because he wasn't so efficient.
Yo, I got. Hey, y'all, real quick, I got like 5 minutes left, man. I'm gonna try to keep the video under 3 hours, man. But what I want to say to y'all though is, hey, Ray, you want to get some of this?
Yeah. How you guys doing, man? Shout out to
Ray.
How you feeling nowadays?
These days, it's rough. Don't want to get into it too much, but I'm here in clinical trials, just trying to get better. But I've been away because things have just been really, really complicated. And I'm sorry to you and the chat and the panel and everything. Like I miss you guys, but I've just been really focused on my health
Yeah, we
piece.
miss you too, man. But we need for you to be healthy, man.
Yeah, man. Bless you, man. Hope you.
I got some. Hey, Ray, I got some terrible news yesterday too.
What happened?
One of these days when you get some time, man, I'm gonna call you.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, man.
I gotta catch up with you anyway, and just chop it up and let you know, what's going on my end, stuff like that. But I just wanted to find a way to contribute to the conversation. You guys, everything you guys are saying makes a lot of sense. The whole Randall argument, and keeping him on the team, and it sort of goes back to a point that I asked you guys about. What kind of team are we trying to be? Are we trying to be a playoff team, a play-in team, a lottery team? If you're trying to be a playoff team, then Randall can't go because you need him as a third or fourth option. Now, you can, it's a separate argument whether or not he buys into a third, fourth option. But even as
Right.
this RJ Barrett, the reason why it looks like RJ Barrett is such a ball hog is because the scheme transitioned to him. I think sometime around December last season. That has just not been a position he's ever been in. And I think at 21 years old, where again, Tibbs' philosophy, 2 feet in the paint, spray the ball out, that hybrid, triangle offense that he runs, and really putting the emphasis on 2 feet in the paint. That is something that RJ Barrett has tried to do. He hasn't had much success because you have a guy in Mitchell Robinson who can't play 5 feet from the paint. So all he's doing is sort of camping out by the rim, and RJ was getting his stuff punched every time he was getting to the rack. Either way, I think RJ is just going to have a better understanding of his usage going into now a year where the scheme has focused on him. So you can count this as like a year or two of the focal point being on RJ Barrett. So I understand the context of the numbers and why some people will say, "Oh, he's a ball hog," but I just want people to keep in mind, like the whole system shifted towards him. Was it last December, earlier this January, and
January,
that's
yeah.
you started to see the numbers inflate. And I think the only thing that I'm concerned with RJ about is his ability to be a threat at the free throw line. You cannot be going to the free throw line 11, 12 times a game and you are subpar. That doesn't work. You are I don't want to say useless, but yes, you are, I can't find another word, but you are as useless as Ben Simmons if you're getting to the line that many times and you can't convert. With Julius Randle, it's the same thing that I've been saying for quite some time now. It's his system or his offensive system with the 2 feet in the paint and the hybrid triangle offense that he runs requires players who do not have the ball in their hand to be efficient jump shooters. That is not something Julius Randle has ever been. And the one time he did it was in the anomaly season we call the almighty fourth seed. So I'm curious about that. I'm continuously trying to figure that part out. But if Randall's here, then Randall's here. He's not a bad basketball player. He really isn't a bad basketball player. We really have to get off the train of, oh, Randall's garbage or he's trash. He's not trash. I only care about the basketball fit, and it's why I lean so heavily towards Obi Toppin, because Obi Toppin at least stretches things for you, or he changes, modernizing the lineup for you with his athleticism and keeping defenses honest. Like you can't afford to slack off. You can't turn your head away from Obi Toppin because if you blink, this guy's in the air. That's something that Julius Randle, he's more of a one-on-one on-ball guy. So I wonder how that works when you put the ball in Jalen Brunson's hand. Like, where are you putting Randle on the floor?
Man, Ray, great to
Yeah.
hear your voice, man. I'm telling you, he's a huge part of this family, man. And,
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you need anything, Ray, put it out there. Prayers. If you want us to start a little, whatever you need, man, just let us know. You never know.
Some snacks.
Some snacks, exactly. Some vegan snacks. I got my wife making that all the time. Let us know, man.
Hey, if you want some 7-month-old Lay's out of the vending machine, I got you.
Oh man,
cucumber slices, man, because I'm such
cucumber slices, exactly.
Yeah, man.
But those are just the questions, Uncle Freezy, that I sort of going into this because I'm trying to be a little bit more student of the game. I'm trying to be a little bit more, I don't know, I'm trying to understand nuance and I'm trying to understand context in its totality, not one part with my emotions and feelings of how I feel about individual players. I really want to understand the basketball fit. And that is something that I've always been concerned about with Julius Randle. And the thing with Julius Randle is it's really not about his basketball talent because even with a bad season, you can correct those things. You can. Bad basketball can always be fixed. But it's the thing above the neck, and it's how we judge these players. What's between the ears? We judge their greatness based on the mentality, based on the response, and it's how it builds character and all this different stuff. So when I ask these questions beyond basketball regarding to Randall, is he going to accept the lesser role? Is he going to accept being the third fiddle to, Jalen Brunson? And you bring in Donovan Mitchell, he's the best player on the team by far. And it's really not close. I just wonder about those things with Julius Randle. And I think it's fair to worry about those things with Julius Randle because if it was just basketball, then sure, just become a more efficient jump shooter. Work on that. But it's everything else that surrounds the conversation of what he does on the basketball floor. And then again, I look at Tibbs and I look at the systems that he employs, and I wonder it's where exactly are you putting Julius Randle on the basketball floor if Jalen Brunson has the ball in his hand for the majority of the time? Then you bring in a Donovan Mitchell who ain't really all that of as an off-ball player, although he's decent, but he's not really like that off-ball guy that's cutting and doing all that. But he adds athleticism to our backcourt. And that's something that we need. So for everything that you can honestly say, oh, this checks, you're looking at the other boxes and going, wait a second, this doesn't make sense. So that's just my
Yeah. Well, and to piggyback on what you're saying, Ray, is to me, this is where coaching does come into play.
Right.
This is where the coaches and assistants and fellow vets and everything, they start keeping it real with this. Hey, Donovan, has what you've been doing in Utah, has that brought you a championship? Jalen, how about you? How about you, Julius? Has your current path led you to a championship yet? Well, you have to start looking in the mirror and start telling yourself as a vet, what am I willing to do? What am I willing to sacrifice? What role am I willing to take on that's conducive to winning a championship? And that's what luckily, we have, in spades, we have the opportunity to have guys that have enough talent that they can make those kind of decisions. Some teams don't have that luxury. There's some teams, I wish this guy can do this more or this less. We're asking guys to be a little less selfish and to think a little more team first when it comes to the flow of the offense.
Right.
I mean, I'd rather do that than, man, I wish he could jump higher. I wish he was faster. I wish he could, we have all those other boxes checked. But go ahead, Freezy.
Yeah, man. And so I got to get out of here real quick, just wrap up because we got some other joints coming up soon. But we did the breakdown this morning. Luke Skywalker Visions pointed out something, man. I want to give him credit for that. He pointed out that in certain pick and roll situations, Julius Randle and RJ Barrett are going to be in opposite corners of the floor, threatening the offense while Donovan Mitchell screens for Mitchell Robinson and Jalen Brunson turns the corner. Mm-hmm. Now you have three guys, 3-on-3, Brunson, Spider, Mitch against three guys. And if somebody has to double team it, you kick the ball out to the guy that's free.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's easy. That's easy. What Randall, where Randall's gonna be at on the floor is easy. This will be the easiest. This will be the lightest workload Julius Randle ever had in his life.
Like he's like, man, I'm getting these easy buckets all of a sudden. I had to
getting
work
all-
hard
I'm
for
getting-
these.
I'm getting all these easy looks as the supposed third or fourth option. Hey man, look, if I can get 10 easy looks a game as the fourth option, sign me up.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
Sign me up. But anyway, I got to get out of here, y'all. So that you know what I'm saying, that you know, I'm trying to stick to a schedule. I'm trying to make sure I do the KMD on schedule and all the other joints on schedule, so y'all know exactly what it be at when I'm there and all that stuff and blah blah blah. Thank you everybody for coming through, hanging out. Remember that the Patreon is up. I think it's like $2 a month for breakdown stuff. Like $2 a month. What is it? That's so cheap. $2 a month. That's like if you bought your man a soda or something.
Yeah,
hey,
that's loose change in the cup, the cup holder.
I signed up yesterday, by the way, Uncle Freezy. I don't know if you saw me sign up yesterday. So
yeah, I did. But you signing up, and that's very important. But I need your input on the Patreon though.
Absolutely.
I need for you to contribute on the Patreon, bro. I need for you to need your breakdowns on the Patreon. Ray, when you feel up to it, bro, I might need you to.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we want to hear what Ray got to say, man. And
Ray and Coach,
man.
Coach, yeah. I need all of y'all to help me build this Patreon up, man, because on the live stream it's conversational. The live streams are conversational. We just get on here and argue for like 3 hours or whatever. But on the Patreon, we got to break stuff down and show people stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Hey, Bodega, thank you for manning the gate for me, bro. I appreciate you and the rest of the mods. Shout out to the mods for holding it down for me, for holding it down for the Prince, so that the Prince can sleep well at night, so to speak. I appreciate Bodega and all the mods, man, doing y'all thing, man. I'm out of here. I'll holler at y'all later.
Salute panel, salute chat. See y'all later.
Peace, y'all.